Hey everybody, Dinooglesaur here to discuss Singed Crab Shack, aka SCS, the number 1 seed coming out of Group Manaphy. SCS ended the regular season 4-1, only dropping one series to Team Greeley in a very close matchup, in which case they also had a sub. SCS secured first seed in Manaphy on tiebreakers in Week 5 after beating the previously undefeated HK in a very close 2-1 series as well. SCS was incredibly dominant versus the rest of the group, winning every other series 2-0. Now for the team preview. SCS is led by the captain and top laner Vino, who has been the best top laner in Group Manaphy. Vino primarily plays tanks and bruisers in the top lane, and has had particularly strong performances on set. Vino also plays Singed. Anyways, SCS's jungler is Brinticus, who has consistently improved throughout the year and plays AD fighters in the jungle. Billy Willard, a former Risen Rampage winner, plays mid for SCS and plays standard control mages with a focus on Victor and Ahri. Billy Willard is always stable and occasionally brilliant, which is a fantastic quality to have in Doran's. SCS's bot lane is Brigade and Poison 57. While they don't get as much attention as Vino, they are a solid bot lane, and Poison 57 in particular has looked great. Brigade can also have some massive games if given the resources. There is no single weak point on this SCS team. After the Week 1 loss to Greeley, SCS has looked like one of the best teams in the league, and they've solidified that especially after defeating HK in Week 5. They have the best top laner and has ramped into some of the best macro as the season has gone on. SCS sets up objectives with purpose and executes them well. ADCs beware. Vino will find a way to drop 10 million damage on your face. The way to beat SCS, though, is to pull them around the map, specifically Vino. SCS's team fighting without Vino is much weaker, and Vino has been pulled across the map before into net negative plays while losing in the cross map. That being said, SCS's macro did not show any cracks versus HK in particular, and I think they should be considered a favorite to win the Doran's championship. Now, there's always a possibility of an upset, but even then, I think SCS will make it to semifinals, and probably finals after that. Hello again, it's Dinooglesaur. I'm excited to tell you guys about Help Katie, aka HK, the number 2 seed coming out of Manaphy. HK ended the season 4-1, dropping their only series to SCS in a very tight 3-game series to wrap up the season. When watching HK, you can expect some of the strongest draft planning in the league, and some of the most cohesive macro in the league as well. Anything you might think HK lacks on paper and points is made up for in team play. HK's talisman is Mulldrifter, HK's jungler and longtime Risen competitive player. Mulldrifter is probably the best shot caller in the league, and the rest of HK is 100% bought into every single play. The team commitment across the board has helped elevate HK well beyond their 21-point expectations. Speaking of low points, HK's top laner, Tempo Melon, is somehow only 3 points. Now, Tempo Melon has looked like one of the best top laners in the league, straight up, dominating most matchups and going blow for blow with 7-point Vino from SCS. There are some real questions on how HK would do with having to do a late replacement for longtime HK top laner Iska, but Tempo Melon has been more than up to the challenge, playing a wide range of tanks and bruisers. Moving to the mid lane, Twinkie is the mid laner for HK, and they've also had some really solid performances despite a smaller champion pool. In particular, they have performed well on Diana, Veigar, and Ahri. Now, rounding out HK's roster is Telmo in the bot lane and Usagi Mochi in support. Telmo has had some massive hypercarry performances, and Usagi Mochi is an enchanter specialist. This roster has massively overperformed expectations, and they look like legitimate contenders for the title now. Now, that being said, the biggest question I have when I look at HK is, can Mulldrifter can keep managing the macro like they have been? Now, Mulldrifter's been brilliant, but if they have a single off day, what'll HK's macro look like? The other place you can really target with HK is Telmo, who loves to play immobile hypercarries and sometimes ends up caught early in fights. Now, Telmo has huge damage potential, but they have to toe a fine line. I worry that if Telmo and Mulldrifter have an off day, or if Tempo Melon puts on a 3-point performance, I don't expect that, they could be bounced from playoffs in the first round. Now, like I said, I don't expect that though, because with HK, consistency is the norm, not the exception, which is a rare and valuable skill in Doran's division. I think the ceiling for HK in playoffs is for them to be champions. When Mulldrifter is calling at his best and Telmo is on a good day, HK feels unstoppable. They are so hard to draft against and are always looking for the next positive play on the map. Catch them next week As Risen playoffs start for Dorans. See ya.
Hey guys, my name is Gotti, otherwise known as Muldrifter, and I'm here to discuss Team Greeley. They've got Danugosaur in the top lane, a weak side warrior with the ability to provide bruiser picks when the situation arises, Microbrat in the jungle, one of the best junglers in the league at playing carry junglers, Greeple Hunter in the mid lane, a huge Azir player who recently has also picked up a few scaling champions. Rounding out the bot lane, we have Friday again and Goldfish, who will absolutely carry late game teamfights if given the opportunity to do so. Before the season started, Team Greeley looked like the clear favorites of Group Manaphy. Preseason predictions had all four of the content team members put Team Greeley as the number 1 seed, and I myself had them as the tournament favorites without much contest. The core four of Microbrat, Greeple Hunter, Friday Again, and Goldfish have been together for 4 seasons straight, so they've got a consistent lineup that not many other teams can replicate. Danugosaur seemed to be the perfect addition at the top lane as well, as they really just needed someone who was happy to play frontline for a team that would otherwise not play it a ton. After 5 weeks, we know now that Team Greeley has mostly lived up to the preseason hype. Danugosaur has been straight up fantastic for them, showing that he's been capable of winning lane against the best top laners in the league, and Friday Again and Goldfish still hold up as one of the best value bot lanes in the league at only 9 points. However, they did not dominate Group Manaphy like predicted. They had an extremely close series against Singe's Crabshack, who had a sub, another extremely close series against Kinda Internet Boy's Death lineup, and lost to Help Katie in another 3-game series. I think while they have some strengths that are very defined, their weaknesses are also glaring. The mid-jungle combination of Microbrat and Greeble Hunter has been known to have synergy and map movement issues, which makes accelerating Microbrat's snowball game plan very difficult. They've also had issues in the draft itself, in my opinion, misevaluating relative champion strengths and weaknesses, which have put them in games where they have much to work for and work harder than their opponents to win the game. All in all, I would still say that despite the hiccups in the road that Team Greeley has endured, I would still have them as one of the title contenders for Dorans. They've shown that they can hang with the best, and their raw player strength will likely carry them to the second round at a minimum. They could get upset against IKEA or Collision Time in the first round given the strength of Oxymoronical and Fajita, but I think it's a safe bet to have Team Greeley in the second round for sure, with potentialists to be finalists or even champions. Rounding out Group Manaphy, we have the Kind Internet Boys. In the top lane we have Gordon, a Renekton specialist who's one of the most consistent players in Doran's, Fancy Pants in the jungle, someone who has insane map movements for their rank, and Roomba Fiesta playing mid lane, who has been awesome on utility mages such as Mel and Hui. In the bot lane, we have Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus Knights, 2 players that will play for scaling and teamfighting and excel at such. KND has had an interesting season to say the least. They ended the season at a 2-3 record, which doesn't sound great on paper, but they've had some good performances against some of the top teams. Their series against Help Katie, while being an 0-2 loss, was extremely competitive, and they showed me some things I was genuinely impressed with. They also played their death lineup against Team Greeley and was just a few poor early game decisions away from making the second biggest upset at Group Manaphy. I would be remiss if I did not mention Squolts, one of the best ADC players in Dorans, who is currently sitting on their bench. Squolts, when playing, gives KND the mechanical edge that they otherwise would lack. I've sat in on some scrims that KND has played with Squolts, and he's looked really good there too. It's a strange thing to say, but their best lineup has been with Squolts on ADC, Justino coming off of the bench to jungle, and Trackpad Enjoyer playing mid lane of all things. However, I'm here to talk about starting lineups mostly, and their starting lineup has been solid for sure. Trackpad Enjoyer is the star of the show for KND in my opinion. I cannot put it into words how infuriating it was to play against his Ashe. It felt like my map was constricted and I was only allowed to move where he allowed me to. KND as a whole have insane macro for their ranks, showing an expertise in comp play, slowing the game down when needed, while still being proactive, looking for picks. However, I think they struggle in teamfighting as a whole. Their overall mechanical play has been solid, but nothing outstanding, and when you're playing comps revolving around a bot lane hypercarry, such as Jinx or Sivir, your teamfighting must be exceptional. I think that KND also has some exploitable champion pools, and that could really come back to bite them in any potential best of 5 series. For my predictions, I unfortunately do not have KND making it out of the first round. Their match versus Jimmy's Disciples is going to be an uphill battle to say the least. If Squolts and Justino play, things could get really interesting for KND, and they could potentially be a dark horse team, but assuming Squolts and Justino sit on the bench, it could be a short playoff stint for the Kind Internet Boys.
Iron Knuckles Esports Association. New to Doran's, IKEA already have made a splash, making it straight to playoffs in this first season. Led by Ethos as the captain from the ADC role, they have several players with breakout performances and in contention for top of their role. They have had the highest average top side as well as Pride in the bot lane at 2 points, holding their own in comp play. IKEA may yet live up to their name of great value and easy to assemble victories. Fajita and Ethos have been an absolute standout in IKEA, being leaders for the team's success in this season. Taking 4th seeds in Fion, but their series against the upper teams show that it's still anyone's game. Pride and GKS are standouts in their own ways, proving once again that lower point players can come up big for their teams. Scuttle Vibes. Back off of a finals appearance from last season, Govna and Carp are joined by their super sub from last season, Laffley. Scuttle Vibes look to prove that value and consistency beat any singular pop-off performance. Watch out for playoff version of Govna and pocket pick Carp to make some surprising things happen, while Frog Turtle, Laffley, and Bexon show why players on the lower half of the point values can never be counted out. Scuttle Vibes will look to match their comp experience of Govna, Carp, and Laffley with the new energy from Frog Turtle and Bexon. Look out for their first playoff series where we'll see if Scuttle Vibes have improved enough during the regular season to allow their strength to shine throughout the playoffs. Knowing them, it'll be a party in the river either way. Collision time. Taking second in their group and back to prove that Nectar is the best player in the league.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Risen Esports. We got ourselves a wonderful quarterfinals matchup with us here today, and I am joined in the cast booth by the one and only best color commenter on this side of the Rockies. Arrow, how you doing, big dog?
I'm doing great, Cal. Sorry for missing last week, but I'm back for playoffs, baby. I'm so excited. We got JD versus KND, and it's two really cool teams that are matching up today. So I'm really excited. So I'm really happy to be casting with you again after missing last week, but I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, we may do last week, but I'm telling you, Arrow, you missed a banger of a matchup. Incredible 2-1 victory, but we got ourselves some exciting games here ahead of us now, I believe. Quarterfinal pick ban phase underway.
Awesome, yeah. And as we're going into draft here, I mean, kind internet boys are going to be banning out the Twitch, which is honestly understandable. I mean, on the side of Jimmy's disciples, we have Radicus, who I believe had at least 1 or 2 pentakills in this. Had 1 pentakill, excuse me, for the entire season, and any time they got picked, it was just this Twitch popping off. So no surprises there. And then we have Syndra banned, we have Hui Nocturne banned on the side of Jimmy's disciples. So nothing too surprising so far. These are all just target bans towards each other's best picks in their pools. So for the side of KND, no ban here. Was that a mistake? I'm not sure. Okay, but we'll have to see if that's a mistake or not. But Mel is going to be banned here, but I think it's going to be a Zahen ban. I think they just mistimed it, but yeah, Mel banned on the side of Jimmy's disciples. So again, all of these are target bans towards KND's mid laner, Roomba, Fiesta, with the Hui and the Mel. And funny enough with this Mel, I mean, even though a few patches ago she got really hit with some nerfs, she's actually very, very strong. She has, high base damages, insane wave clear, so not too surprised. But as it's banned, we won't be seeing it for this game specifically. But Dr. Mundo being locked in here for kind internet boys, and I kind of like it. It's a flex pick between top lane and jungle. I imagine it's likely going to be going into the jungle, but it's a flex, so I like the flex, and it provides a lot of draft priority for Kai and Internet boys, because Jimmy's disciples aren't going to be able to counter it as easily, but they're gonna counter it themselves with the Pantheon Ashe here. So these two picks are just insane in terms of just like map pressure, with the Pantheon ultimate coming around the map, and then Ashe Hawk shot on top of her, her own ultimate being global can just absolutely run the map and make it really hard for KND to really walk anywhere.
Absolutely. Yep. And a big thing, like you said, the Mel, the Way, the Nocturne ban, and Mel exactly like you said, such a good champion, really safe champion to play with. Obviously, Mundo would have been a great pick into her. But either way, it looks like both teams securing their ADCs pretty early on.
Yeah.
You got Jimmy Disciples picking up the Ashe, and then KIB picking up the Varus.
Yeah. I like this Varus pick. I think it just kind of matches well with the Ashe in the bot lane. Doesn't really sway too hard one way or the other. I mean, it's likely going to be more support dependent, but this is a big pick here, Zilean. So Zilean not only this is probably my first time ever saying this, but Zilean is a very contested pick between both supports. Both supports have a lot of games on Zilean, and it's both of theirs. I think one of their better picks. So like getting the Zilean out of the pool game one is going to have pretty good inclinations for how the series is going to go. But I believe both of these teams have big enough champion pools to circumvent that. But Swain coming in here, and man, I mean, Cal, how many times have we seen a Swain pop off on stream, the last few times that we've streamed? Like, too many times to count. So I kind of like Swain. I believe this is going to be a support Swain this time around, so might not be as strong, but there's still potential for it to go to mid lane, of course. But I like Swain coming in here, especially when you have this Mundo in your face trying to walk at you with this giant meat shield, and you have Swain just going to heal off of that for now.
Yeah, one of those just crazy good scaling champions. You love having him, especially in that late game when he starts to get tanky, starts to have all that health regeneration, really able to lead that fight. And with the Pantheon, they got two people that can really be frontlining in a fight right now. And it looks like Kind Internet Boys believe it might be a Swain support because they're going with some more mid bans with that Ahri off the field. Jimmy Disciples answering back with an Aurelion Soul and an Ornn of their own bands.
Yeah, I would actually like to see maybe either a Malzahar or a Victor ban here, because I think Jimmy's Disciples are kind of lacking some damage. I know Ashe does dish out some damage, but they're going to go with the top lane ban in the Mbessa, and I kind of like that one too. One of the tougher things about Jimmy's Disciples is that they have carry potential from all three roles. Correct me. Sorry, all four roles minus support. Sorry. Sorry, Nurgle. I mean, as our primer kind of correctly pointed out, Jimmy's Disciple has a lot of flexibility. That's one of their greatest strengths. They have the potential to carry from from jungle, from top, from mid, from AD carry. So I like that they do have the Mbessa band there. That is one of those carry top laners. But I mean, Malzahar is one of those supportive mid laners again. So right now, I just like what I'm seeing on Jimmy's Disciples, and it's very clear what they want to do. They have a lot of very ease of execution based draft right now. So Malzahar coming in, it's going to be countered by Taliyah. I kind of like that. I like Taliyah. I like Taliyah being able to match this Pantheon in terms of map movements, or even outmatch Pantheon. But at the same time, you have to flip it around. So it's like if Taliyah is trying to make a play anywhere, you have to expect a Pantheon to be Grand Starfalling anywhere around that area as well if they're in the same spot. So Sion gonna be picked up here. Makes sense, Mbessa ban kind of indicates that they want to pick the Sion because Mbessa is one of Sion's biggest counters. So they will counter with the Darius. So there it is. I mean, I was saying earlier, it's Jimmy's Disciples. They can carry from any lane, and right now it looks like the main carry for this game is probably going to be this Darius. But this Darius has a huge supportive cast to help them, run this game around. Because Darius with two giant beefy tanks in front of them, I mean, I feel like that's just a field day for Darius.
Absolutely. And like you said, taking a look at these comps as well, some of these fights that start as a 2v2 can quickly become lopsided with Taliyah, with Pantheon, with Sion on the field, all of them able to join fights very, very quickly from seemingly nowhere. So some exciting fights, I'm sure, ahead of us. But Risen Teambuilder quarterfinals coming up, game number 1. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. Stick around. Here are the cast's prediction. You guys let us know in chat who you think is going to take this series, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey everybody, Dinugleso here to discuss Singed Crab Shack, aka SCS, the number 1 seed coming out of Group Manaphy. SCS entered the regular season 4-1, only dropping 1 series to Team Greeley in a very, very close matchup, in which case they also had a sub. SCS secured first seed in Manaphy on tiebreakers in Week 5 after beating the previously undefeated HK in a very, very close 2-1 series as well. SCS was incredibly dominant versus the rest of the group, winning every other series 2-0. Now for the team preview. SCS is led by the captain and top laner, Vino, who has been the best top laner in Group Manaphy. Vino primarily plays tanks and bruisers in the top lane, and has had particularly strong performances on set. Vino also plays Singed. Anyways, SCS's jungler is Brinticus, who has consistently improved throughout the year and plays AD fighters in the jungle. Billy Willard, a former Risen Rampage winner, plays mid for SCS and plays standard control mages with a focus on Victor and Ahri. Billy Willard is always stable and occasionally brilliant, which is a fantastic quality to have in Doran's. SCS's bot lane is Brigade and Poison 57. While they don't get as much attention as Vino, they are a solid bot lane, and Poison 57 in particular has looked great. Brigade can also have some massive games if given the resources. There is no single weak point on this SCS team. After the Week 1 loss to Greeley, SCS has looked like one of the best teams in the league, and they've solidified that especially after defeating HK in Week 5. They have the best top laner and has ramped into some of the best macro as the season has gone on. SCS sets up objectives with purpose and executes them well. ADCs beware. Vino will find a way to drop 10 million damage on your face. The way to beat SCS, though, is to pull them around the map, specifically Vino. SCS's team fighting without Vino is much weaker, and Vino has been pulled across the map before into net negative plays while losing in the cross map. That being said, SCS's macro did not show any cracks versus HK in particular, and I think they should be considered a favorite to win the Doran's championship. Now, there's always a possibility of an upset, but even then, I think SCS will make it to semifinals, and probably finals after that. Hello again, it's Dinugalsaur. I'm excited to tell you guys about Help Katie, aka HK, the number 2 seed coming out of Manaphy. HK ended the season 4-1, dropping their only series to SCS in a very tight 3-game series to wrap up the season. When watching HK, you can expect some of the strongest draft planning in the league, and some of the most cohesive macro in the league as well. Anything you might think HK lacks on paper and points is made up for in team play. HK's talisman is Moledrifter, HK's jungler and longtime Risen competitive player. Moledrifter is probably the best shot caller in the league, and the rest of HK is 100% bought into every single play. The team commitment across the board has helped elevate HK well beyond their 21-point expectations. Speaking of low points, HK's top laner, Tempo Melon, is somehow only 3 points. Now, Tempo Melon has looked like one of the best top laners in the league, straight up, dominating most matchups and going blow for blow with 7-point Vino from SCS. There are some real questions on how HK would do with having to do a late replacement for longtime HK top laner Iska, but Tempo Melon has been more than up to the challenge, playing a wide range of tanks and bruisers. Moving to the mid lane, Twinkie is the mid laner for HK, and they've also had some really solid performances despite a smaller champion pool. In particular, they have performed well on Diana, Veigar, and Ahri. Now, rounding out HK's roster is Telmo in the bot lane and Usagi Mochi in support. Telmo has had some massive hypercarry performances, and Usagi Mochi is an enchanter specialist. This roster has massively overperformed expectations, and they look like legitimate contenders for the title now. Now, that being said, the biggest question I have when I look at HK is can Moledrifter can keep managing the macro like they have been? Now, Moledrifter's been brilliant, but if they have a single off day, what will HK's macro look like? The other place you can really target with HK is Telmo, who loves to play immobile hypercarries and sometimes ends up caught early in fights. Now, Telmo has huge damage potential, but they have to toe a fine line. I worry that if Telmo and Moledrifter have an off day, or if Tempo Melon puts on a 3-point performance, I don't expect that, they could be bounced from playoffs in the first round. Now, like I said, I don't expect that though, because with HK, consistency is the norm, not the exception, which is a rare and valuable skill in Doran's division. I think the ceiling for HK in playoffs is for them to be champions. When Moledrifter is calling at his best and Telmo is on a good day, HK feels unstoppable. They are so hard to draft against and are always looking for the next positive play on the map. Catch them next week as Risen playoffs start for Doran's. See ya.
Hey guys, my name is Gotti, otherwise known as Moledrifter, and I'm here to discuss Team Greeley. They've got Dinugalsaur in the top lane, a weak side warrior with the ability to provide bruiser picks when the situation arises, Microbrat in the jungle, one of the best junglers in the league at playing carry junglers, Greeple Hunter in the mid lane, a huge Azir player who recently has also picked up a few scaling champions. Rounding out the bot lane, we have Friday again and Goldfish, who will absolutely carry late-game teamfights if given the opportunity to do so. Before the season started, Team Greeley looked like the clear favorites of Group Manaphy. Preseason predictions had all 4 of the content team members put Team Greeley as the number 1 seed, and I myself had them as the tournament favorites without much contest. The core 4 of Microbrat, Greeple Hunter, Friday Again, and Goldfish have been together for 4 seasons straight, so they've got a consistent lineup that not many other teams can replicate. Dynugulsor seemed to be the perfect addition at the top lane as well, as they really just needed someone who was happy to play frontline for a team that would otherwise not play it a ton. After 5 weeks, we know now that Team Greeley has mostly lived up to the preseason hype. Dynugulsor has been straight up fantastic for them, showing that he's been capable of winning lane against the best top laners in the league, and Friday Again and Goldfish still hold up as one of the best value bot lanes in the league at only 9 points. However, they did not dominate Group Manaphy like predicted. They had an extremely close series against Singe's Crabshack, who had a sub, another extremely close series against Kinda Internet Boy's Death lineup, and lost to Help Katie in another 3-game series. I think while they have some strengths that are very defined, their weaknesses are also glaring. The mid-jungle combination of Microbrat and Greeble Hunter has been known to have synergy and map movement issues, which makes accelerating Microbrat's snowball game plan very difficult. They've also had issues in the draft itself, in my opinion, misevaluating relative champion strengths and weaknesses, which have put them in games where they have much to work for, and work harder than their opponents to win the game. All in all, I would still say that despite the hiccups in the road that Team Greeley has endured, I would still have them as one of the title contenders for Dorans. They've shown that they can hang with the best, and their rock
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment you've all been waiting for, Risen Esports Playoffs has officially kicked off. We are here. Game number 1, KND versus JD. Who's gonna take it home?
Man, I'm super excited to see these two teams again. Man, I don't think we got to see Jimmy's Disciples absolutely destroy everybody on stream, but I mean, I've seen the rumblings. I've seen so many different clips of them just absolutely destroying people. So we'll have to see if Jimmy's Disciples can continue their perfect season essentially, and if KND can slow them down, because this JD team has been, I probably easily the best team in the league. It's been so oh wait, we have some trading here in the bot lane though. Nope. Okay,
Yeah.
nothing else. But
Absolutely
yes.
dominating performance, like you said, out of JD this season. So we're going to
Yeah.
see if they can continue it. And little early flash by Zillion. They will take an early flash to support, get themselves another hook.
No.
And it looks like Varus has to use his cleanse. So 2 sums down very quickly for KND bot lane.
Yeah, as an AD carry main, this is painful. I do not like playing against a Swain. It's really rough to try and dodge that nether. Is it called nether grasp? No, that's Malzahar. But it's just that it's that Swain E ability that's really hard for me to dodge. So I kind of feel for Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus in this bot lane, but they're gonna have to perform to a higher level because I think a lot of JD's games is just Radicus and Nurgle Knight kind of running bot lane and kind of taking over the game from that point on. So Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus Knights, they have a big task ahead of them to try and shut down this bot lane and kind of create an even play state for the rest of their team, because I think if they can maybe keep this bot lane in check and scale with this Mundo, with this Scion, with their infinite scaling of HP and everything, I think they might have a chance in this game. But of course, it's always easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Trackpad and Pegasus also, they have the task of kind of just getting their Varus fed. That is their goal. While as JD can sort of have Ashe or Swain and get some kills. It's not a bad thing on either of them.
That's not good.
And here we go, another play right now. Trackpad gonna get an early ignite. Ashe looking for the auto attack. He might not do the trick.
No.
And Zillion tries to save the ADC, but is just too late. JD picking up first blood.
Oh no! I mean, we said it. We're trying to get a lay of the land for how things are supposed to go. But right now, I think just Nurgle Knight landing that Swain E too strong, and with the flash burned earlier and the cleanse burned earlier, it's just an easy kill, ticking from ignite and everything. So great play there from Radicus and Nurgle to find the pick onto Trackpad, who was trying to get some. Wait, top lane here.
The fight, and that's it. Sion might be in trouble. Has no out. Has to use the flash. Does he have the speed? Darius going to chase him down. Good play there. Darius gets some health back. The stun lands by Pantheon, plus the kill. And Woody Woods picks up kill number 2 for JD.
Yeah, great timing there from Woody Woods on the Pantheon. Just finished their full clear and now just going to their bot lane scuttle. So easy, just one of the easier pickups there. And since Gordon did burn their flash, it's just an easy target to come in. Wait, bot lane here. Just a little trade here, but yeah, I would just look at the Scion to be another repeat gank. I mean, look at Pantheon's running straight there right now, and he has flash.
Yeah, and Pantheon without flash, no real way out of this without ultimate. Here comes Pantheon looking for another stun. They do have vision in this bush. Pantheon gets close, lands the stun. Darius a little far away this time. Probably not gonna be able to join the fight. Does get the pull though. The long range is gonna land. Push Scion back into danger. The bleed doing a little bit of damage. Gets the Scion down to about half health. JD walk away empty-handed, but good gank here out of Woody Woods.
Yeah, I mean, even though they didn't get the kill, the damage is done. I mean, the wave was in a terrible spot for Gordon. So Gordon trying to push that wave in and get it to reset. But right now, it looks like it's in a really bad spot. It might bounce at this point. I think the wave did end up crashing at the end of the day. But Gordon not looking too good on this side. Down 16 CS already in this lane, and I mean, if they can try and slow the game down, get this Scion kind of back into the game, Scion will scale eventually. But with how things are going, this Darius is kind of accelerated with this gold influx, and Pantheon with the kill is going to run around the map pretty quickly. But on the flip side, Pantheon is going to be a little bit late on their clear. So Mundo is just power farming right now, and does have a 10 CS advantage in the jungle. So even though Scion, Gordon on this Scion is a little behind, I think he can pretty much weather this storm a lot easier than say this Varus right now, because this Varus, I mean, even though they're down in kill, they are even in CS, so they're probably down about 300-ish gold, yeah, because of that first blood kill. But so far, so good. I mean, right now they have lane prowl. Maybe they can try and leverage this with this Mundo power clear to get this first dragon. But, I mean, it's going to be tough with this Talia getting pushed in right now. So, right now, I mean, probably just looking to, keep it chill. I mean, they are kind of looking right now, but we'll have to see what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And here it looks like Mundo going to be maybe starting this first Drake of the game, trying to give that blue team a little bit of extra gold in their bank.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could start it. I mean, Pantheon's on the other side of the map with no level 6, but looks like they're going to opt to not, take the chance, take the risk, but just playing it safe. But I mean, I would have loved to see them try and pull the trigger there. I mean, you should know that Pantheon is back to clearing full clearing top side, so I think they had the opportunity to do that with Talia, maybe roaming from mid, and then the trackpad and Jordan and Pegasus did have prio there, so I would have loved to see them try, but I think they opt to just have this Mundo power clear. But I think looks like Woody Woods is going to get the third scuttle of the game, so I think this is going to be level 6 for Woody, and it's going to be off to the races for this Pantheon with this Grand Starfall being able to dive in from anywhere. But yeah. Just now hitting level 6, so laners beware. You might have a man with a spear diving into you.
Yeah, absolutely. Once Pantheon gets that 6, such a game changer in these abilities. Take a look at this Malzahar, continue to shove in waves, sitting pretty at a nice 10 CS a minute mark, and JD just advantages all over the map right now.
Yeah, it's slowly accruing to about a 1.4k gold lead, or sorry, 1.6k gold lead. Not looking too good for KND, but it's definitely not insurmountable. With this Scion, with this Mundo, they can overcome this with some of just the base stats that they get from stacking and everything. But at the moment, it looks like JD will be first to Dragon here. We'll have to take a look and see if KND want to contest this. They do have Talia ult. They do have everything up on the side of their bot lane, but it looks like they're a little too late to try and contest, unless they are posturing.
And there they go. Astra throwing the Crystal Arrow, immediately going to find the Zillion. Malzahar puts it in Nethergrass. That's going to keep him there. And Mundo joins the fight, pops a maximum dosage. Is going to be enough. Scion working on the top side. Pantheon dives in looking for the stun, but Mundo is not going to get hit by it. And Pantheon, very low health, might go down here. Can they find the play? He's looking to back, but the blue team unaware that he is so low and right on the other side of that wall. Mundo could have gotten a kill, saves his axe for the Malzahar, and he goes back to the Pantheon. He's already gone. JD picking up a Drake, picking up a kill, winning another fight.
Yeah, not too bad there for JD. They get the dragon, and they even get the team fight. They immediately pull the trigger onto the Varus Zillion, who were a little bit too early. I mean, Fancy Pants and Roomba hadn't gotten to mid lane hadn't gotten to the top side of the dragon. So let's take a look at it once more. And it looks, yeah, it's the huge grab from Swain. And they just absolutely pop the pop Zilean on Pegasus Knight on Zilean, and it's just it's a wrap from there. I mean, they almost get a kill back onto the Pantheon, but he survives barely with a few HP. So not too bad there for JD. I mean, just a little too aggressive there from Trackpad and Pegasus on that bot lane duo there, and unfortunately Pegasus popping ultimate onto Varus and then getting ulted from Malzahar means that it's just a wand fight for JD, and the first dragon of the game going over to the side of JD as well.
Yeah, great play right there. And JD continues to dominate right now, sitting at about a 2.2k gold lead.
Yeah.
Pantheon picking up his second kill of that game, first objective. And KND looking for a foothold to get back into this game.
And and on top of that, to make matters worse, I think Pantheon just got the Void Grubs as well. So this Darius is going to be beating down this tower. Even bot lane here with their Pariah is going to be beating down turrets. So everything looking up for JD right now. I mean, this Pantheon is pretty accelerated. I think they after this full clear, they will have their first item and everything done. So I will say Fancy Pants on this Mundo is farming up a storm pretty well. But I mean, if you compare it to this to Moose Tag on this Malzahar, I mean, this Malzahar is farming pretty well in this game. So we'll have to keep an eye out to see if how much prio this Malzahar can get, and how they can utilize their mid lane advantage right now, because right now it's looking like a huge CS gap in the mid lane, and alongside this Darius in the top lane, the whole CS leads is going to eventually become insurmountable.
Yeah, absolutely. But taking a look at KND's team comp, as we have a fight go down right here, Mundo trying to take out a ward, not that he's going to make it. Taking a look at KND's team, though, they do have a solid late game comp. I mean, Sion beats the Darius late game, Mundo beats Pantheon, Varus beats Ashe. So if they can get to that late game, if they can make this a 30-minute game, it is absolutely possible they start winning some of these fights.
Yeah, for sure. And also interesting to note, something I didn't pick up on at the beginning of the game, but this Varus is going to be on hit. Getting that Berserker Greaves first and everything. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent. I do believe lethality Varus is stronger, and especially in this game, I fear this Varus isn't going to have enough space to be able to hit somebody for a consistent amount of time. So in terms of auto attacks, of course. So Varus's auto attack range is Swain ultimate, or Swain E range. It's also Malzahar ultimate range, and then of course there's still the Pantheon W, the Ashe ultimate as well. So I have to question it a little bit, but I mean, if it works out in the end, I think it's a job well done. Oh, here we go.
So here we got some damage coming in. Pantheon's going to use that Grand Starfall right as Swain pops the Demonic Ascension. They find the kill onto Varus. Zilean's going to use the Chrono Break. It's not going to matter. And Varus goes down. Zilean limps away. Red team find their fourth kill of the game.
Yeah, we talked about it, Cal. I mean, it's just any two, like you said in draft, like any 2v2 can quickly become a 2v3, and that Pantheon ultimate is so pivotal in that 2v2. I mean, I think that it looked pretty good in the initial fight for Pegasus and Trackpad, but the double bomb onto the Ashe was just a bait for Woody Woods to just ult in there on Pantheon. And right now, I mean, even on the top side of the map, they're not going to be able to get anything done, because I think Clarkles either wins this or just walks out.
Yeah, and here we go. Clarkles does have a 2v1. Talia's coming over to help as well. We got 4 blue team members in the fight. Clarkles trying to get the bleed damage onto Sion. There's a Noxian Guillotine, and I think the bleed might just go through. Gets the kill onto Sion. 3 blue team members still surrounding him, though. Roomba finally gets the kill. First kill for the blue squad, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Not a great thing for KND, as Malzahar continues to shove, and Pantheon takes the second Drake of the game.
Yeah, 1-for-1 in a 4v1 is not worth it for KND. And even on the flip side of the map, JD are getting the second dragon of the game, and it's a Hex Tech dragon. So it looks like no, there weren't, but like looks like they're trying. Oh wait, Malzahar got a solo kill in the mid.
And Malzahar takes down Talia, sacrifices himself for it, but gets himself a kill. Mundo picks one up as well, and that 1-for-1 trade might not be in JD's favor. Not trying to give over too many kills. They do secure a dragon because of it, though, so not too bad.
not too bad. I still think it's still favored, a little bit slightly favored in JD. They do get the second dragon and do have dragon stacking, 13 minutes into the game. So, potential soul point 20, 23 minutes into the game as well. So, potential soul 23 minutes into the game is going to be pretty insurmountable for KND. But I mean, on the flip side, I mean, here we're going into a replay in mid lane. So it looks like it's just Roomba Fiesta getting a little too greedy for some CS.
Yeah, and they have a nice little pop there. Can't find the stun. Malzahar is going to flash forward, hit the little, I call them space aids. Not sure if it's correct, but that is what they're called in my stream. And hits the play, but Mundo has the speed, has the ghost, lands the slow. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, great play from Moostag there, recognizing that he has a kill angle there. I mean, I'm sure he probably knew, it's like, I'm probably going to trade my life for this one. But, I mean, I think it's worth it for them in the end. They're still up 50... 50-something CS, and the gold is 900. So I think Moostag is going to sleep well, knowing that he's probably still going to end up winning this game. But it's for KND, they need to find a way to kind of slow this game down. It's going to be hard with this Darius. Adding some. Oh wait, looking.
And here we go, another fight happening. Swain's going to pop demonic ascension immediately. Ash has the slow on Zillion. He cannot get out. Varus has to sit and watch. JD picking up their seventh kill. And this Swain Ash continuing to dominate this bot lane.
Yeah, I imagine if Trackpad didn't flash out there, they might have been able to get a trade kill on Radicus, but the problem would have become Swain, and how do you kill him after he goes into Demonic Ascension? So great 2v2 there. I mean, oh wait, we got some trading here.
Yeah, Mundo. The thing about trading with Mundo usually doesn't lead to a kill. It's just a little bit of punch face, and Mundo simply walks away.
Yeah, I mean, Talia had just backed, so maybe there was an angle to go onto the Mundo, but I think Zillion was roaming up, so it was going to be a rough play overall. So wisely taking the decision not to take the fight, but I think they're going to want to look for a fight here onto... Oh!
And that's it. They're going to find the thing. Pantheon's going to block the passive. Malzahar is there with the Nethergrass. Mundo gets low. And the Zillion ultimate chrono shift is going to bring him back to life. Can he get out? Has the blast cone. Is going to hit it. The ignite on top of Mundo is going to secure the kill. And Swain picks up his fourth as the red team heads back towards the rift, winning another clean fight.
Yeah, crucially, I think Gordon wasn't there for the fight, so it was still a 4v3, and Fancy Pants was alone there for a second. So, I mean, great call there from JD to just snap engage onto the Mundo, popping that Mundo passive with the Pantheon W, and then getting Nethergrass. I think it's called Nethergrass onto from the Malzahar ultimate onto Mundo. So easily pops the Mundo even with ultimate going. So I mean, this early into the game, Mundo isn't this monster yet. So you can pretty much burn through his HP bar pretty quickly. So great play there from JD. Another kill onto this Swain, and I mean, it's looking like the same thing right now for us for that we've seen, Cal, in previous streams, where it's just Swain popping off right now. So we'll have to keep an eye out for how KND can try and circumvent this fed Swain in the bot lane. He has this Rylai's, so anybody getting near him is going to be slowed, and it's going to be super hard to kill him at this point in the game.
Yeah, 4-0 Swain doing so good. And exactly like we said, they don't necessarily need the Ashe to get the kills. Either one of them getting the kills is just fine. Ashe works absolutely great as a support ADC.
Yeah.
And so here we are, Swain 4-0, looking so strong this game. And red team continuing to shove in these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the map pressure is a lot. Is too much on the map, and I'm sure Radicus has been throwing out these hawk shots every once in a while, something that we haven't really been paying attention to throughout the game. But the pressure that JD have with this composition with Pantheon is going to be really hard for KND to try and claw their way back into the game, because like you were saying, Cal, it's like any potential advantage you have on one side of the map is going to be quickly evened out or disadvantage when you have a Grand Starfall popping up very soon. So going to be pretty hard for KND to find their way back into the game, but not impossible. I mean, I think this Talio Weaver's Wall could be the key to getting themselves back into the game, but they're going to have to try and if they really want to fight their way back, I think this Soul Point, this third dragon, is going to be the key to making their way. But they're engaging already.
Absolutely. Immediately they throw in the Ashe Arrow. That's going to land. Trackpad has his Chrono Shield on top of him. It's not going to use a Zillion. He's going to stay alive. Might have been better if he died. They do find the kill, though. Shutdown onto the Swain. It goes to the Varus. Clutch kill there for KND. Moostag
on the way.
comes in to take down the Mundo. And Sion now joining the fight. He wants to go in, looking for the play. He's going to pop the unstoppable onslaught. He's looking for a fight, does not land the stun. Pantheon dives back in, pops the passive, and Ash with a little bit of a volley right there, slowing Sion down. They find Zillion, and now he has to run away. They have the silence. The red team are going to turn the fight around. The Noxian Guillotine lands onto the Varus, and JD win a fight that looked doomed, losing only one, head towards the Drake.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had the right idea, JD. They got the kill, they got the pick onto Trackpad and Jordan, and Trackpad getting that cleanse pretty early, but unfortunately they couldn't proc the chrono shift from Zillion. So Varus was trying to free hit and try and die there to reset their HP, but they weren't able to. But at the end of the day, they were able to get Swain. They did kill Swain, and then they ended up, looking for an angle to try and get more. But let's take another look. But Trackpad is surviving with a few HP, but just barely not dying right there. So thankfully for them, they do get the kill onto Swain. It looks pretty good at this point. But I think FancyPez not really knowing how much HP he has left in his bar. But I think they had an opportunity here with Gordon to try and make a play. But as soon as Darius pops that TP, it's kind of a doomed play, unfortunately. So at this point, it's just an easy flash ultimate here for Moose Tag. Gets the kill onto Pegasus Knight, and it's just an easy chase onto the Scion, and then flashing onto the low HP Varus for Clarkles here on the Darius. So easy team fight win here for JD, and a further deficit for KND. It's 3 dragons on the side of JD, and it's Soul Point 19 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and taking a look at JD, and there's the CC ability on their team. Every single one of them able to somehow stop you, able to pull you back into the fight when you try to run away. So if you get too close to the squad and they have the numbers, it is a death sentence for you.
100%. It's super hard. I mean, we've been talking about it, for the past few minutes, and it's just too hard for KND to find their way back into this game. So they're gonna have to they're going to have to rely a little bit on their vision, and then just having to full send onto some plays and hope that they work out. I mean, this Taliyah in the side lane is good to match up against the Malzahar, but I think this Taliyah needs to try and get one wave, drop pressure in the side lane, and find a play with odd numbers, because right now this is not a good play.
And there it is, Sion trying to get out. Great job by the Swain. Pops the Mon extension, splashes in front of the unstoppable onslaught, makes Sion stay in the fight. Fancypan wants to join as well. He's going to pop the maximum dosage. A lot of health onto the Mundo. It looks like they might have the damage. Sion finally goes down. Mundo is quick to follow. And the red team have another fight while Ash is there with the slow. The Noxian Guillotine takes down the Zillion. And Sion, his body, trying to find that kill, does not catch the Swain. Red team winning another fight. JD only losing Pantheon.
Yeah, it's a huge skirmish in the jungle there, right in front of Baron. Surprised that they didn't go. I mean, with Woody Woods going down, they don't go for Baron. To no surprise. But on the flip side, Roomba Fiesta dying to Moose Tag in the solo lane. So Malzahar in the solo lane, absolutely destroying this Taliyah. So unfortunately, the idea that I had doesn't pan out. I mean, I think if Taliyah was able to drop this wave and maybe go to that fight, maybe Candy have a chance in that skirmish. But it's just as soon as Darius gets the stacks on their passive onto 2 beefy frontliners in the Scion and in the Mundo, it's just a free. It's just a free ultimate for Darius to pop off and just absolutely destroy everybody. So easy team fight win there for JD. And unfortunately, since Woody goes down, they're not going to get the Baron, but they'll take the win either way. And they're just marching on to victory right now.
Yeah, JD sitting on an 11K gold lead. 3 Drakes, 1 more until Soul Point. And one of the big things, the problems with KND right now is their tools to join the fight. This Sion, this Taliyah, these players that can join these fights easily. If they leave their lanes, their opponents are so much more fed than them. It is just a massive shove. It's towers, it's plate. It's such a negative. They don't absolutely wipe out the fight they join. And speaking of fights, we have another one here top side, but it's going to be Darius versus Sion, so not expecting a kill there. A lot of just punch face, as we've seen multiple times here top side.
Yeah, but this Darius has free reign. I mean, they're looking for a pick onto Nurgle, but I don't think they get it. I mean, as soon as he pops ult, maybe with a 3v1
he has the demonic ascension, has 3 players here, gonna go golden as well. Here comes Taliyah with the weave as well to join the fight. A lot of damage. Swain cannot heal through that. Fancy Pants gets the kill. An unanswered kill for KND. That is exactly what they need to see, but as I say that, Clarkle's gonna answer right back top side. Find a Sion 1v1 and shove in this top side wave.
Yeah, I mean, I like that pick onto Nurgle, like catching him out, trying to get vision for Dragon. So that was a good play. I mean, but unfortunately on the flip side, Gordon does go down. So they're forced to, come back top and answer Clarko's on this Darius, and like the pressure that they could have gotten from that pick onto Nurgle to get some vision onto Dragon is quickly negated by having to answer Clarko's in the top side. So good play there from Clarko's, realizing that he's in a 1v1 and able to pull the trigger onto Gordon. But I have to criticize Gordon for walking up there in that situation. I don't know what exactly was going on, but in that situation, when your team's trying to set up for Dragon, I think you just have to sit under your tower and pray that you can clear waves while your team's getting pressure on Dragon. Because right now it looks like they're just going to get their soul point for free, and Ocean Soul on this team against a bunch of tanks and carries that are behind is just going to be so insurmountable for KND. So either they have to full send it right now, or the game's pretty doomed.
Yeah, it's looking rough. And also take a look at the CS. Massive play by Darius and Malzahar, sitting really high, 230, 244. So impressive to see it have such a good game and have such good CS numbers. I would once again call out the fights, but it is Darius versus Sion. I'm not sure a kill's going to happen. So blue team members are here to help out, though. Now we got ourselves a fight.
All right, 1v5, here we go.
Chasing after Pegasus. They're going to get through the gate. They do not find him. Zillion trying to find the stun, only lands one. And Clarkles with a nice place flash gets out of danger. And red team secures Soul. Clarkles a little bit of a distraction, and they are walking away pretty as they head towards Baron.
Yeah, they're gonna get Soul. They're gonna have their top laner survive a 1v5, and then they're gonna walk straight to Baron. Excuse me, and the entire team of Candy are in no position to contest. It's just JD getting everything on the map, and Candy struggling to find plays. I mean, Gordon had to pop their ultimate to get away, and then at that same time, Clarkles was still walking forward to create pressure, is able to avoid, I think, Radicus on the bot side, and not Radicus, Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus on the flank, and they're just able to flash over the wall and survive. So everything going the way of JD, and Candy still scrambling to find plays around the map. I mean, I like that they have vision on their blue side and a little bit on the red side to kind of prevent JD from walking in too close to them. But right now they kind of have to try and turtle and try and clear waves. But with their composition, I mean, with Talia maybe, but they don't have a lot of wave clear, so this siege is going to be brutal for the side of KND. And JD just can play this 4-1. I mean, I don't think anybody can answer this Darius easily. So as soon as somebody shows on top side to contest the Darius, it's just an easy tower for for JD on the flip side.
Yeah, and here we go. Darius going to finish shoving that wave in. Mid lane also have a wave, so two waves shoving in. It's going to be a Darius 1v1 on that side. Meanwhile, we have ourselves a fight happening here in the tower. It's a good play by Ash. They got the Golden or Zillion's going to use that Chrono Shift onto Trackpad. It's going to save his life. Mundo not so lucky. The other grasp by Malzahar going to keep that Zillion in a bad situation. Pantheon trying to join the fight. Massive fight by the Darius. Pops on the Nazi and Guillotine. Takes down Sion. And Sion wanting a consolation kill. Not going to find it. Red team finding 3 members and still have their waves. It might be GG right here.
Yeah, I think it is GG right here. I mean, KND had to pull the trigger to look for a play. Otherwise, they're going to get suffocated out of this game. So I don't blame them for trying to find a fight there. I mean, it looked good. It was a 4v1 for a little bit. But as soon as Clarkle shows up, this Sion and this Mundo aren't taking enough to survive all this damage coming in at them with how fed the members of JD are. So this is just going to be a clean game 1 win for JD.
Yeah, really dominating performance and massive job from the Darius and the Malzahar, staying at about 10 CS a minute, getting themselves huge KDA numbers. So just dominating game all around by JD. Game number 1 in the books.
Yeah, big game 1 coming out there for JD. Huge. I mean, we had questions coming into this game, like could Trackpad and Pegasus, suffocate or go even with Radicus and Nurgle Knight, and this game 1 proves right now, like they just don't have it right at the moment. Maybe it was just a little bit of a draft problem with this Swain coming in as the counter pick to the Varus and all of that. So right now, I mean, just absolutely blown out of the water from JD, blowing KND out of the water for JD here. But for KND, they have to look for different answers in draft, because right now I think JD with their red side, they had the counter pick for a lot of their for a lot of the picks, and I mean they're 1-2 of the Darius. Or sorry, correct me. Sorry, it was Ash Pantheon. Their 1-2 on red with Ash Pantheon was just too good. I mean, those are very safe blinds. I mean, and with how powerful those champions are with their globals, it's just very, very strong and makes the game super oppressive for the enemy team in KND to try and run the map. So I loved what I saw with JD. I'm hoping for KND to figure out a new draft strategy and maybe reset for game 2, give us a game 3.
Absolutely. JD doing exactly what they've done all season long, and we are heading into a game 2 to see if JD can close it out quickly or see if KIB can maybe get themselves a game 3 forced. And we will find out when we come back after this, folks.
Hey everybody, Dinugelsaur here to discuss Singed Crab Shack, aka SCS, the number 1 seed coming out of Group Manaphy. SCS ended the regular season 4-1, only dropping 1 series to Team Greeley in a very, very close matchup, in which case they also had a sub. SCS secured first seed in Manaphy on tiebreakers in Week 5 after beating the previously undefeated HK in a very, very close 2-1 series as well. SCS was incredibly dominant versus the rest of the group, winning every other series 2-0. Now for the team preview. SCS is led by the captain and top laner Vino, who has been the best top laner in Group Manaphy. Vino primarily plays tanks and bruisers in the top lane, and has had particularly strong performances on set. Vino also plays Singed. Anyways, SCS's jungler is Brinticus, who has consistently improved throughout the year and plays AD fighters in the jungle. Billy Willard, a former Risen Rampage winner, plays mid for SCS and plays standard control mages with a focus on Victor and Ahri. Billy Willard is always stable and occasionally brilliant, which is a fantastic quality to have in Doran's. SCS's bot lane is Brigade and Poison 57. While they don't get as much attention as Vino, they are a solid bot lane, and Poison 57 in particular has looked great. Brigade can also have some massive games if given the resources. There is no single weak point on this SCS team. After the Week 1 loss to Greeley, SCS has looked like one of the best teams in the league, and they've solidified that especially after defeating HK in Week 5. They have the best top laner and has ramped into some of the best macro as the season has gone on. SCS sets up objectives with purpose and executes them well. ADCs beware. Vino will find a way to drop 10 million damage on your face. The way to beat SCS, though, is to pull them around the map, specifically Vino. SCS's team fighting without Vino is much weaker, and Vino has been pulled across the map before into net negative plays while losing in the cross map. That being said, SCS's macro did not show any cracks versus HK in particular, and I think they should be considered a favorite to win the Doran's championship. Now, there's always a possibility of an upset, but even then, I think SCS will make it to semifinals, and probably finals after that. Hello again, it's Dinugelsaur. I'm excited to tell you guys about Help Katie, aka HK, the number 2 seed coming out of Manaphy. HK ended the season 4-1, dropping their only series to SCS in a very tight 3-game series to wrap up the season. When watching HK, you can expect some of the strongest draft planning in the league, and some of the most cohesive macro in the league as well. Anything you might think HK lacks on paper and points is made up for in team play. HK's talisman is Moldrifter, HK's jungler and longtime Risen competitive player. Moldrifter is probably the best shot caller in the league, and the rest of HK is 100% bought into every single play. The team commitment across the board has helped elevate HK well beyond their 21-point expectations. Speaking of low points, HK's top laner, Tempo Melon, is somehow only 3 points. Now, Tempo Melon has looked like one of the best top laners in the league, straight up, dominating most matchups and going blow for blow with 7-point Vino from SCS. There are some real questions on how HK would do with having to do a late replacement for longtime HK top laner Iska, but Tempo Melon has been more than up to the challenge, playing a wide range of tanks and bruisers. Moving to the mid lane, Twinkie is the mid laner for HK, and they've also had some really solid performances despite a smaller champion pool. In particular, they have performed well on Diana, Veigar, and Ahri. Now, rounding out HK's roster is Telmo in the bot lane and Usagi Mochi in support. Telmo has had some massive hypercarry performances, and Usagi Mochi is an enchanter specialist. This roster has massively overperformed expectations, and they look like legitimate contenders for the title now. Now, that being said, the biggest question I have when I look at HK is can Moldrifter can keep managing the macro like they have been? Now, Mole Drifter's been brilliant, but if they have a single off day, what'll HK's macro look like? The other place you can really target with HK is Telmo, who loves to play immobile hyper carries and sometimes ends up caught early in fights. Now, Telmo has huge damage potential, but they have to toe a fine line. I worry that if Telmo and Mole Drifter have an off day, or if Tempo Melon puts on a 3-point performance, I don't expect that, they could be bounced from playoffs in the first round. Now, like I said, I don't expect that though, because with HK, consistency is the norm, not the exception, which is a rare and valuable skill in Doran's division. I think the ceiling for HK in playoffs is for them to be champions. When Mole Drifter is calling at his best and Telmo is on a good day, HK feels unstoppable. They are so hard to draft against and are always looking for the next positive play on the map. Catch them next week as Risen playoffs start for Doran's. See you.
Hey guys, my name is Gotti, otherwise known as Muldrifter, and I'm here to discuss Team Greeley. They've got Dainugosaur in the top lane, a weak side warrior with the ability to provide bruiser picks when the situation arises, Microbrat in the jungle, one of the best junglers in the league at playing carry junglers, Greeple Hunter in the mid lane, a huge Azir player who recently has also picked up a few scaling champions. Rounding out the bot lane, we have Friday again and Goldfish, who will absolutely carry late game teamfights if given the opportunity to do so. Before the season started, Team Greeley looked like the clear favorites of Group Manaphy. Preseason predictions had all 4 of the content team members put Team Greeley as the number 1 seed, and I myself had them as the tournament favorites without much contest. The core 4 of Microbrat, Greeple Hunter, Friday Again, and Goldfish have been together for 4 seasons straight, so they've got a consistent lineup that not many other teams can replicate. Dainugosaur seemed to be the perfect addition at the top lane as well, as they really just needed someone who was happy to play frontline for a team that would otherwise not play it a ton. After 5 weeks, we know now that Team Greeley has mostly lived up to the preseason hype. Dainugosaur has been straight up fantastic for them, showing that he's been capable of winning lane against the best top laners in the league, and Friday Again and Goldfish still hold up as one of the best value bot lanes in the league at only 9 points. However, they did not dominate Group Manaphy like predicted. They had an extremely close series against Singe's Crabshack, who had a sub, another extremely close series against Kinda Internet Boy's Death lineup, and lost to Help Katie in another 3-game series. I think while they have some strengths that are very defined, their weaknesses are also glaring. The mid-jungle combination of Microbrat and Greeple Hunter has been known to have synergy and map movement issues, which makes accelerating Microbrat's snowball game plan very difficult. They've also had issues in the draft itself, in my opinion, misevaluating relative champion strengths and weaknesses, which have put them in games where they have much to work for, and work harder than their opponents to win the game. All in all, I would still say that despite the hiccups in the road that Team Greeley has endured, I would still have them as one of the title contenders for Doran's. They've shown that they can hang with the best, and their raw player strength will likely carry them to the second round at a minimum. They could get upset against IKEA or Collision Time in the first round given the strength of Oxymoronical and Fajita, but I think it's a safe bet to have Team Greeley in the second round for sure, with potentialists to be finalists or even champions. Rounding out Group Manaphy, we have the Kind Internet Boys. In the top lane we have Gordon, a Renekton specialist who's one of the most consistent players in Doran's, Fancy Pants in the jungle, someone who has insane map movements for their rank, and Roomba Fiesta playing mid lane, who has been awesome on utility mages such as Mel and Hui. In the bot lane, we have Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus Knights, 2 players that will play for scaling and team fighting and excel at such. KND has had an interesting season to say the least. They ended the season at a 2-3 record, which doesn't sound great on paper, but they've had some good performances against some of the top teams. Their series against Help Katie, while being an 0-2 loss, was extremely competitive, and they showed me some things I was genuinely impressed with. They also played their death lineup against Team Greeley, and was just a few poor early game decisions away from making the second biggest upset at Group Manaphy. I would be remiss if I did not mention Squolts, one of the best ADC players in Doran's, who is currently sitting on their bench. Squolts, when playing, gives KND the mechanical edge that they otherwise would lack. I've sat in on some scrims that KND has played with Squolts, and he's looked really good there too. It's a strange thing to say, but their best lineup has been with Squolts on ADC, Justino coming off of the bench to jungle, and Trackpad Enjoyer playing mid lane of all things. However, I'm here to talk about starting lineups mostly, and their starting lineup has been solid for sure. Trackpad Enjoyer is the star of the show for KND in my opinion. I cannot put it into words how infuriating it was to play against his Ashe. It felt like my map was constricted and I was only allowed to move where he allowed me to. KND as a whole have insane macro for their ranks, showing an expertise in comp play, slowing the game down.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Risen Esports quarterfinals, game number 2 about to kick off, and picks and bans already underway. Joined again by my man Arrow. Arrow, here we go. Game number 2, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Cal. I mean, game number 1, absolute stomp from JD. I mean, they had a clear draft plan and they executed it to almost perfection throughout the entire game. So we'll have to see what they want to do for game number 2. And KND, they also have to change things up. And in the flip side, they're going to, instead of, I think in game 1 they banned Zahen, they're going to ban the Smolder instead. So Jimmy's Disciple is going to immediately pick Maokai in favor of the Zahen, I guess. But I mean, KND, they have to find other avenues to try and attack JD, because their game 1 draft, I mean, it looked good on paper, but unfortunately JD just had everything to answer for what they had. So we'll have to see what KND want to do. I mean, I love this Maokai first pick. Again, it's technically a flex, but I imagine this is a jungle Maokai. Actually, it could be a jungle or a support Maokai, but I imagine this will be a Maokai in the jungle. But on the side of KND, they're going to be picking Sivir Braum. I mean, this is a strong bot lane duo that can absolutely negate some of the advantages that any bot lane might have. You know, Sivir has the infinite wave clear, and then it scales up into this late game monster with those ricochets and everything. But for the side of JD, they're going to match scaling with Jinx. So we'll have to take a look at what they want to end their draft with, and it will be the Zahen. So I think this is going to be, I believe this is a Jinx Maokai bot lane, and then Zahen is a flex between jungle and top. But I mean, there's too many variations here. We'll have to continue to watch what this blue side draft will be for JD. But KND, I like the adaptation that they have, where Sivir and Braum is a very stable. It's a very stable bot lane for the side of Braum, and then for Diana coming in here for the last pick for in the first rotation here for KND. So very aggressive in the jungle. I'd like to see if Fancy Pants on this Diana can just power clear and just outpace Woody Woods, because last game Woody Woods was running around the map getting kills, while Fancy Pants on that Mundo was just farming and not really getting too much pressure on the map. So I have to I think we'll have to see what JD want to match for mid lane, and or match for mid lane, and potentially for top lane jungle, depending on where the Zahen goes.
Yeah, we will see. And I'm surprised to see KND not trying to target ban out top more after that Darius performance last game. Right. Absolutely dominating difference-making performance from Darius. So Zaheen is going to be on the field. It might be Krugels with that Zaheen. We'll see where he ends up going. But yeah, next couple bans underway. Team number or KND going to ban out the Ahri and the Orianna. So they're worried about some mid laners, getting rid of them. And JD doing the same thing, getting rid of the Aurelion Soul. So thinking Diana might be a jungler.
Yeah, I do think Roomba Fiesta did struggle against Moose Tag's Malzahar in game number 1. I mean, we saw the CS lead that was showcased. So I'm not surprised that they're trying to target ban Moose Tag a little bit with the Ahri Orianna, but they're hovering Veigar right now. And I mean, Veigar, okay, Karma is the pick, and is this a Karma mid lane? I haven't seen that in forever.
I think it is going to be a Karma mid lane. And as a mid laner, I can tell you right now, Karma is not a fun champion to play against. The amount of early game damage she has with those Mantra Qs can just hit so hard. So not the speed, the shield, the stun, a lot of things in a Karma kit. Very, very good champion. Doesn't scale as well as others, but still very solid pick here for KND.
Interesting. I mean, I think this is very exciting, because Karma usually is a support, and as a support you don't get those huge shields because you don't usually get a lot of items and you don't build full AP. But as a Karma in the mid lane, you're gonna get gold, you're gonna get items, and you're gonna get a lot of AP. So these shields coming in for Karma are gonna be insane. And it looks like KND kind of want to create this composition to protect the Sivir and just kind of let the Sivir free hit in the back line. But JD is going to match with this Victor and Sejuani. So Victor into Karma, I'm not really sure how that matchup goes. I imagine Victor's still going to get a lot of push and a lot of poke because of that E of his and with that Death Ray, but Sejuani kind of indicates Zahen is going into the top lane, so this Sejuani with any melee top laner is going to be a potent 2v2, and for KND they're gonna counter pick this Zahen with Renekton, and it's Gordon's Renekton, and one of probably the best Renekton in the league. So hopefully this Gordon on Renekton can have a better standout performance from in game number 2, because in game 1 they got stuck on Scion duty and got counterpicked into versus a Darius, and it was just quite unplayable for Gordon, and so in this game he gets the counter pick with his Renekton. So we're gonna have to take a look at top lane, make sure and Gordon can get ahead and take over this game, because Zahen when they're fed is just insane to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a switch right there with Renekton. Now they have KND with that early game top laner. He has to shut down the Zaheen early. Darius did such a great job last game of realizing you had to get that sign out of the game. Pantheon helping out, helping JD secure that first win. And we got ourselves game number 2 about to kick off, folks. Predictions are on the board. I want you folks to make your own predictions in chat. Who do you think is going to win this game number 2? Will JD close it out right here, or can KND force a game number 3? Let us know. We will find out when we come back.
Hey everybody, Dynuglesaur here to discuss Singed Crab Shack, aka SCS, the number 1 seed coming out of Group Manaphy. SCS ended the regular season 4-1, only dropping 1 series to Team Greeley in a very, very close matchup, in which case they also had a sub. SCS secured first seed in Manaphy on tiebreakers in Week 5 after beating the previously undefeated HK in a very, very close 2-1 series as well. SCS was incredibly dominant versus the rest of the group, winning every other series 2-0. Now for the team preview. SCS is led by the captain and top laner Vino, who has been the best top laner in Group Manaphy. Vino primarily plays tanks and bruisers in the top lane, and has had particularly strong performances on set. Vino also plays Singed. Anyways, SCS's jungler is Brinticus, who has consistently improved throughout the year and plays AD fighters in the jungle. Billy Willard, a former Risen Rampage winner, plays mid for SCS and plays standard control mages with a focus on Victor and Ahri. Billy Willard is always stable and occasionally brilliant, which is a fantastic quality to have in Doran's. SCS's bot lane is Brigade and Poison 57. While they don't get as much attention as Vino, they are a solid bot lane, and Poison 57 in particular has looked great. Brigade can also have some massive games if given the resources. There is no single weak point on this SCS team. After the Week 1 loss to Greeley, SCS has looked like one of the best teams in the league, and they've solidified that especially after defeating HK in Week 5. They have the best top laner and has ramped into some of the best macro as the season has gone on. SCS sets up objectives with purpose and executes them well. ADCs beware. Vino will find a way to drop 10 million damage on your face. The way to beat SCS, though, is to pull them around the map, specifically Vino. SCS's team fighting without Vino is much weaker, and Vino has been pulled across the map before into net negative plays while losing in the cross map. That being said, SCS's macro did not show any cracks versus HK in particular, and I think they should be considered a favorite to win the Doran's championship. Now, there's always a possibility of an upset, but even then, I think SCS will make it to semifinals, and probably finals after that. Hello again, it's Dynuglesaur. I'm excited to tell you guys about Help Katie, aka HK, the number 2 seed coming out of Manaphy. HK ended the season 4-1, dropping their only series to SCS in a very tight 3-game series to wrap up the season. When watching HK, you can expect some of the strongest draft planning in the league, and some of the most cohesive macro in the league as well. Anything you might think HK lacks on paper and points is made up for in team play. HK's talisman is Moldrifter, HK's jungler and longtime Risen competitive player. Moldrifter is probably the best shot caller in the league, and the rest of HK is 100% bought into every single play. The team commitment across the board has helped elevate HK well beyond their 21-point expectations. Speaking of low points, HK's top laner Tempo Melon is somehow only 3 points. Now, Tempo Melon has looked like one of the best top laners in the league, straight up, dominating most matchups and going blow for blow with 7-point Vino from SCS. There are some real questions on how HK would do with having to do a late replacement for longtime HK top laner Iska, but Tempo Melon has been more than up to the challenge, playing a wide range of tanks and bruisers. Moving to the mid lane, Twinkie is the mid laner for HK, and they've also had some really solid performances despite a smaller champion pool. In particular, they have performed well on Diana, Veigar, and Ahri. Now, rounding out HK's roster is Telmo in the bot lane and Usagi Mochi in support. Telmo has had some massive hypercarry performances, and Usagi Mochi is an enchanter specialist. This roster has massively overperformed expectations, and they look like legitimate contenders for the title now. Now, that being said, the biggest question I have when I look at HK is can Moldrifter can keep managing the macro like they have been? Now, Moldrifter's been brilliant, but if they have a single off day, what'll HK's macro look like? The other place you can really target with HK is Telmo, who loves to play immobile hyper carries and sometimes ends up caught early in fights. Now, Telmo has huge damage potential, but they have to toe a fine line. I worry that if Telmo and Moldrifter have an off day, or if Tempo Melon puts on a 3-point performance, I don't expect that, they could be bounced from playoffs in the first round. Now, like I said, I don't expect that though, because with HK, consistency is the norm, not the exception, which is a rare and valuable skill in Doran's division. I think the ceiling for HK in playoffs is for them to be champions. When Moldrifter is calling at his best and Telmo is on a good day, HK feels unstoppable. They are so hard to draft against and are always looking for the next positive play on the map. Catch them next week as Risen playoffs start for Dorans. See you.
Hey guys, my name is Gotti, otherwise known as Moldrifter, and I'm here to discuss Team Greeley. They've got Dainugosaur in the top lane, a weak side warrior with the ability to provide bruiser picks when the situation arises, Microbrat in the jungle, one of the best junglers in the league at playing carry junglers, Greeple Hunter in the mid lane, a huge Azir player who recently has also picked up a few scaling champions. Rounding out the bot lane, we have Friday again and Goldfish, who will absolutely carry late game teamfights if given the opportunity to do so. Before the season started, Team Greeley looked like the clear favorites of Group Manaphy. Preseason predictions had all 4 of the content team members put Team Greeley as the number 1 seed, and I myself had them as the tournament favorites without much contest. The core 4 of Microbrat, Greeple Hunter, Friday Again, and Goldfish have been together for 4 seasons straight, so they've got a consistent lineup that not many other teams can replicate. Dainugosaur seemed to be the perfect addition at the top lane as well, as they really just needed someone who was happy to play frontline for a team that would otherwise not play it a ton. After 5 weeks, we know now that Team Greeley has mostly lived up to the preseason hype. Dainugosaur has been straight up fantastic for them, showing that he's been capable of winning lane against the best top laners in the league, and Friday Again and Goldfish still hold up as one of the best value bot lanes in the league at only 9 points. However, they did not dominate Group Manaphy like predicted. They had an extremely close series against Singe's Crabshack, who had a sub, another extremely close series against Kinda Internet Boy's Death lineup, and lost to Help Katie in another 3-game series. I think while they have some strengths that are very defined, their weaknesses are also glaring. The mid-jungle combination of Microbrat and Greeple Hunter has been known to have synergy and map movement issues, which makes accelerating Microbrat's snowball game plan very difficult. They've also had issues in the draft itself, in my opinion, misevaluating relative champion strengths and weaknesses, which have put them in games where they have much to work for, and work harder than their opponents to win the game. All in all, I would still say that despite the hiccups in the road that Team Greeley has endured, I would still have them as one of the title contenders for Dorans. They've shown that they can hang with the best, and their raw player strength will likely carry them to the second round at a minimum. They could get upset against IKEA or Collision Time in the first round given the strength of Oxymoronical and Fajita, but I think it's a safe bet to have Team Greeley in the second round for sure, with potentialists to be finalists or even champions. Rounding out Group Manaphy, we have the Kind Internet Boys. In the top lane we have Gordon, a Renekton specialist who's one of the most consistent players in Dorans, Fancy Pants in the jungle, someone who has insane map movements for their rank, and Roomba Fiesta playing mid lane, who has been awesome on utility mages such as Mel and Hui. In the bot lane, we have Trackpad Enjoyer and Pegasus Knights, 2 players that will play for scaling and team fighting and excel at such. KND has had an interesting season to say the least. They ended the season at a 2-3 record, which doesn't sound great on paper, but they've had some good performances against some of the top teams. Their series against Help Katie, while being an 0-2 loss, was extremely competitive, and they showed me some things I was genuinely impressed with. They also played their death lineup against Team Greeley and was just a few poor early game decisions away from making the second biggest upset at Group Manaphy. I would be remiss if I did not mention Squolts, one of the best ADC players in Doran's, who is currently sitting on their bench. Squolts, when playing, gives K&D the mechanical edge that they otherwise would lack. I've sat in on some scrims that K&D has played with Squolts, and he's looked really good there too. It's a strange thing to say, but their best lineup has been with Squolts on ADC, Justino coming off of the bench to jungle, and Trackpad Enjoyer playing mid lane of all things. However, I'm here to talk about starting lineups mostly, and their starting lineup has been solid for sure. Trackpad Enjoyer is the star of the show for K&D in my opinion. I cannot put it into words how
Ladies
infuriating
and
it was.
gentlemen, here we are. Risen Esports game number 2 has officially kicked off. JD trying to close it out, move on to the semifinals. KND trying to keep their hopes alive. Which team is going to come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, oh, wait, hold on. We got some level 1 already.
Early fight here. KND finds himself a level 1 trade. Gonna put
Nice.
down JD down about a little bit over half health in the bot lane. They can easily recover that though.
Nice. I mean, between game 1 and game 2, there's a common denominator is that one side of the matchup in bot lane burns their flashes early in the game. So on the favorable in the side of K&D. So to answer your question, Cal, I mean, we'll have to see. But I mean, I want more games. So I'm hoping for a K&D win here so that we can get a game 3 and have both of these teams' seasons come down to the last game, because after if K&D loses this game, their season is done, and you have to wait until the next season to try again. So we'll have to see if K&D can survive, or if JD just continue their perfect season, because I think I was trying to bring up that point back in game number 1, but JD currently are on that perfect season run right now. They haven't dropped a single game throughout the regular season, and I mean so far in playoffs. So right now playing like up to the golden standard right now for most of the teams in Doran's, and are the team to chase for the Doran's title. So but right now, I mean, K&D getting those early flashes burned level 1 are pretty good, but unfortunately for a Braum Sivir lane, you don't have too much kill threat, because Sivir in the early game doesn't have too much damage. I mean, a lot of the damage probably is going to come from that Braum passive, to getting that stacked up and getting a stun. But I feel like this early game, these early flashes aren't going to get punished too hard unless Fancy Pants one, that's Diana, wants to come down and punish.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Diana, not the strongest early game jungler. Doesn't really have that stun until she gets that Moonfall level 6. So we'll see if she can get some extra damage in. But it's going to be very difficult for KND to punish these early flashes of JD. But we'll see what they can do with it.
Yeah, I imagine Diana will clear a tad bit faster than Sejuani, and but unfortunately for Diana, I think Gordon on this Renekton does not have the prio here in top lane, so they won't be able to contest this top lane scuttle very easily. Sejuani just now, Renekton Burning Flash does not bode well for this top lane scuttle fight, but I mean, they do have an angle here to get a gank. I mean, there's pings onto top lane here for Fancy Pants onto the top lane.
And here we go. First fight might just be happening. Zaheen might be in trouble right now. Can the Renekton join the fight? Diana not going to land a Q, but does not want to dive in and continue that fight. And meanwhile, Sedge coming to help out as well. Diana might have been aware that Sedge was coming. That's why they backed off.
Oh, this is really risky for Fancy Pants. They can't contest. Zahen has prio, and Gordon is low HP. They could TP back, but it looks like Woody Woods is going to get this top lane scuttle and is probably going to look to get path down to bot lane to get that bot lane scuttle. So potential double scuttle here for Woody Woods, but I think Diana, or Fancy Pants on Diana, is running straight down to this scuttle. So maybe a little skirmish here potentially coming out, or if Diana or Fancy Pants is going to opt to just start full clearing. But it looks like they're going to contest. I mean, even Trackpad and Pegasus are coming to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Diana's ability to go back, realize she lost the scuttle, gets herself an item, ready for this next fight, and Sedge walks in for that bottom scuttle, but is meted by a sea of red. And Diana able to secure herself a scuttle, keeps that CS even with the other jungler.
Yeah, great play there for KND, having their bot lane come up to contest the scuttle, preventing Woody from getting that double scuttle and pushing Fancy Pants out of the game. So I love that play coming out for KND. And you know, Fancy Pants, the failed gank in the top lane unfortunately delayed a lot of their clear, so they're gonna have to find a way to get back into the game for the full clear. But I think Woody Woods was looking to bot lane here for something, but nothing to come out of that play. So thankfully for Fancy Pants, they will still be even. And I mean, interesting choice here. They do opt for the Kindle Gem first back. I mean, maybe they didn't have enough gold for anything, but I mean, they will be a little bit tankier here on the clear. But right now, looking across the board for CS, I mean, you know, Radicus still farming up a storm. I mean, and in top lane it's even. I mean, a lot of pretty even across the board. I mean, a little slight advantages here and there amount to 300 gold across the board. So nothing too insurmountable so far, but yeah, everything looking pretty clean in the early game for both of these teams. Nothing to come out of it yet. I mean, Dragon just now spawned, but a little bit of trading here in bot lane.
Yeah, nothing crazy there. Braum, good use of the shield, going to dodge out that slow. Malk looking for a stun as well. And Sivir a little bit low on mana, not going to be able to join this fight very aggressively.
Yeah, but I mean, Sivir did get a back in. We'll have the Cole. I imagine that's where the 7 CS difference came from, is Diana getting the back here. But I mean, taking a look, we haven't been really talking about mid lane. I mean, we saw this karma in draft. We both had a very clear reaction to it. I mean, we both don't really see this karma very often in the mid lane, but I mean, they're doing okay. They're still down, you know, 9 CS right now, but I think that's just more of a Moose Tag diff than anything. Moose Tag seemingly very, very good at farming on these mid lane mages right now. So, but I'm actually very curious to see how this karma does. I mean, they have barrier, so they have a defensive spell, so they shouldn't die too easily in this mid lane. So these shields are going to be pretty pivotal in some team fights. I mean, any skirmish in the jungle with this Diana and this Karma, I mean, the Karma shields are going to be pretty pivotal in some of these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go, a little trade here top side. Great job by Clarkles. Absolutely doing a great job here. Early game, 56 CS. Yeah. Seems to be punishing this Renekton and winning the early game, which is not what you want to see if you're KND. You're expecting this Renekton to sort of dominate early.
Yeah, I mean, this Zahen champion is too new to me, so I don't know. Oh, good predict there. Wow. But yeah, this Zahen champion is too new to me, so I don't know too much of like how this early matchup or even mid to late game matchup goes in the side lane later as the game progresses. But looking here, we have Dragon coming up for KND. They want to take it, but it looks like they're getting collapsed on right now.
And there he goes. Sedge is going to be there. They got the nice little pincer move. Sedge is going to dive in, land the knockup. It's onto the Brahma. Massive
nice
move. Diana's going to hit.
Where's
and
the
they
damage?
have this little fight. Victor's going to throw in the Arcane Storm as well. The stun is going to land. Red team looking low. Radicus gets the kill on a trackpad. And JD secured themselves a clutch fight, picking up 2 kills. And it is 2-0 KND at least getting the Dragon. Little consolation for them.
Yeah, good thing KND got the Dragon there, because it was a disaster of a team fight there. I mean, Fancy Pants had level 6 advantage. Oh no, we're going to get a top fight here.
Yeah, and Renekton pops Adamas to stay alive. Zaheen going to use the ultimate as well. Has the revive ready to go. Neither going to be necessary, though. And both top laners call it a draw and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, Zahen has the plated steel cap, so they're going to negate a lot of damage that Gordon will be popping off here. But I think we're going to get a replay here of that previous Dragonfly. But, I mean, I thought this was an advantageous fight for Fancy Pants. Fancy Pants had level 6 over the Sejuani, who's still level 5, so I thought this was going to be a huge team fight. But it looks like he gets exhausted as he gets to go for that Moonfall, and Maokai gets their Aftershock, so there's no damage there onto the 2 tankier members of JD, so it's just an easy team fight win, and Trackpad just gets caught out there, not able to, you know, get the space that they need to dish out some of the damage, and it's just a clean 2-0 win there. But thankfully for KND, they get the Dragon, like you're saying, Cal. But that fight was just so sad, and for Fancy Pants on Diana, because they did have that level lead, but it just amounted to nothing because of the exhaust and because of Nurgle Knight getting that Aftershock with that twisted advance. So You know, great play coming out from Nurgle, like absolutely stuffing the play for Fancy Pants. And it's, I mean, I feel like that's just going to be how the rest of this game goes, because that exhaust will be up every time Fancy Pants wants to go in. So this, I mean, this Diana is going to have a hard time finding plays around the map if this Maokai is around, because this exhaust is, that exhaust kind of just perfectly encapsulates like what will go on every fight. Diana's going to dive in and get exhausted immediately. So this Diana is not going to have enough damage to pop people, so it's gonna be on trackpad to kind of carry these team fights, unfortunately.
Yeah, and also a great play by the Victor. You've seen that Karma, a little bit of a double-edged sword for KND, able to play aggressively in lane, but during the team fight doesn't have that AoE stun, that AoE damage that Victor does.
Yeah.
So great stuns, great plays, huge arcane storm by Victor in that fight. And a fight happening here topside. Clarkles is going to go for a 2v1. Diana is here, does not land the Q, wants to dive in, pops a Moonfall immediately, and Zaheen going to go CC immunity, has the revive, ready to go. Can he fight the 2v1? Renekton with Dominus is going to get Zaheen down. He's going to come back with the resurrection.
Sejuani's here now.
Can they find this play? Sedge going to come join in. See those in the Glacial Prison. That's a massive play. Is going to keep that Renekton stun. Claws dash out of the way. A huge rocket from Jinx from downtown gets the kill. And now Fancy Pants is left alone fighting the Sedge. Can they find the kill? Trying to run away, but Woody Woods on the chase. Fancy Pants turns around, looks for some damage. I don't think it's going to matter. They dash in. The stun is there.
No.
Clarkles gets the kill. And Jinx, the hero of that fight, with a long-range sniper shot. 4-0 for JD.
Yeah, it's the Super Mega Death Rocket from Radicus that absolutely flips the fight on its head. It looked good for Gordon, dodging the Sejuani's ultimate, and Fancy Pants, they almost get the kill onto Clarkles. They just need a little bit more, but it was just the Super Mega Death Rocket coming in from Radicus, absolutely turning the fight, and it was just a clean 2v2, but technically it was a 3v2 with Radicus across the map, like you're saying, Cal. So, oh my, like, wow, what a play there for JD, knowing that the Super Mega Death Rocket was on the way and trying to keep Gordon and Fancy Pass in the same area, but looks like they're looking for a 2v2 here.
Here we go. Mouse going to throw in the Nature's Grasp. Braum going to shield it, going to protect the ADC, but they are going to get caught out. Braum taking a lot of damage, tries to dash back towards the Sivir, going to throw down the Glacial Fissure, still taking the hits. The Radicus wants the kill, and Nurge flashes in, secures the fight. 5-0 for JD. And here comes the Diana. Can they find another fight? The slow is not going to hit. Diana has a little bit of a shield. Victor lands the stun, but doesn't have any follow-up damage. And JD happy with taking the one. Can they find a second one? Doesn't quite look like the fight is over.
Dive here. Sejuani's here.
And Sejuani goes in, misses the ultimate. They have trackpad, though. Down goes the Sivir. Diana's going to pop the Moonfall, trying to get the Sedge under tower, but they juggle the aggro. And Sedge walks away victorious. 7-0 for JD.
Wow, what a clean dive there coming in from JD, sending down Victor to come get the kills onto Sivir and the Diana, but it was Woody Woods kind of sealing the deal there. Even though they missed their Glacial Prism, it didn't matter. You know, they have enough HP, they have enough damage to take down the Sivir, take down the Diana, and it's a clean play coming out here for JD. I mean, I would love to see, you know, a replay of both, you know, the Super Mega Death Rocket and that dive, of course, but I mean, it's just a series of great plays coming out from JD, and their prize on top of it is going to be this dragon here for JD here. It's going to be, yeah, the ocean dragon. So second dragon coming in. We'll have to see what the soul is right here. It's going to be a cloud dragon. Yeah.
So big soul.
Yeah.
One of the best souls in the game, arguably.
For sure. And yeah, it's not looking too good for KND here, but we'll have to take a look here. But yeah, we're gonna get the POV from Radicus with the Super Mega. I mean, they're clearly looking. So we're following the Super Mega Death Rocket here. Dodges Roomba Fiestas merrily and right into where Gordon is. So what a shot there from Radicus. So that fight, absolutely insane. I mean, I love seeing, you know, I mean, Radicus knowing that there's the potential for Gordon to, you know, dive back in there to just knowing how the play was going to end up working out. But, you know, that play into the bot lane dive, I mean, I don't know how Pegasus didn't have flash in that play, but looks like we're going for a skirmish.
And Swedge going to dive out the ability, still on the chase right now. Can they find the stun? Is going to land. Chuckles is there. The Moonfall activates,
nice,
but it's not going to be a lot of damage. Renekton comes in with the dominance, but the blue team have the health bars, have the damage. Pull Diana back. They're going to find the kill. Another Mega Death Rocket from downtown. It hits again. The repeat performance, but wait a second. Renekton on dominance gets a double kill. Can they find another play? The Victor is there. They land the stun. Moostack is in trouble.
Oh,
that's
nice.
Karma flashes forward, has the mantra Q, secures the kill, and KND have some life in this fight.
Wow, it looked like we were watching a replay. Oh, wait, they're looking for a dive here, bot.
And another fight here happening. Bot lane, Malk gonna throw in the Nature's Grasp. Redicus is there. A big Glacial Fissure's gonna knock them up, trying to slow them down. Braum with the shield, dodging out a lot of that damage. And Sivir and Braum make the way back to the tower. Red team finding a few kills. That gold lead not looking so good anymore.
Yeah, well, it's a huge gold swing. I mean, now KND only down about 500 gold, but it's a huge gold swing in the advantage for KND. I mean, the fight looked really good there for JD. I mean, they caught out the Diana, and it looked like they popped them instantly with that super mega death rocket. So, and it looked so good for JD in the fight, but it was Gordon on this Renekton absolutely popping off in this team fight. So let's take a look at it again. But like, yes, they whiffed the super mega, the glacial prism for Sejuani, but it looked like this was going to be a clean team fight win, and the super mega death rod coming in here. But it's just Gordon with this dominance absolutely popping off in this team fight. And even though Moose Tag does show up, it doesn't matter. Roomba Fiesta is right there to follow up in the play, so they get the kill onto the whole entire top side of JD, and it's Gordon off to the races with this fight.
Yeah, huge play from Renekton. Really profound performance. And as we do that, we have another fight happening here top side. Renekton does have dominance again. He's going to pop it really quickly as Zaheen's going to pull him back into the fight. It's a 2v1 big ultimate by Zaheen. And Renekton trying to make his way back to the tower. Diana is here to help. Can she dive in? They're going to find Sedge. That's going to be the play. Down goes the Sejuani. And this top side are turning fights around left, right, and center. Zaheen looks low, barely makes it out of there. Victor comes to join the fight, but he is too little, too late. And Karma is there. They're going to find the stun on a Victor in the river right now. Do they have the damage? Diana lands the Q. She's going to dive in. Victor looks for an E. It's not going to do the damage. And KND are coming back to play. Take the gold lead. Head towards the Rift.
Yeah, it's Gordon on this Renekton absolutely popping off. I mean, they're trying to Woody Woods has been trying to play through Clarkles on this top side, but it's Gordon with this dominance absolutely destroying this 2v2. I mean, I think Zahen at this point in the game doesn't have enough damage to pop through a whole dominance of Renekton, so they're able to Gordon on this Renekton is able to survive long enough for Fancy Pants to show up to finally get the kills onto Woody Woods, onto Clarkles, and it's also Moose Tag trying to join the play, but again, like the previous replay that we just watched, it's Roomba Fiesta following the play, following Moose Tag, and just negating some of the damage that Moose Tag wants to do. So great plays coming in here for KND. They're playing through their top side beautifully, just negating some of the advantages that they're trying to that JD is trying to gain with this top side play. But I mean, it's looking super good for KND. This Renekton is 3-1, but I mean, we still have to be a little cautious because Radicus on this Jinx has been getting kills across the map with this super mega death rocket, and they're 4-0 right now. So I mean, right now KND looking good, but I mean, I think JD still have a clear avenue to win this game. So we'll have to take a look and make sure. We'll have to see and make sure. JD can keep just Jinx alive, but as we're watching this replay, I think it's just Karma and on Roomba Fiesta on this Karma just matching Moose Tag on this Victor, and it's just an easy kill here. So great play coming in for Roomba Fiesta. I mean, it looks like we're going back to live here, but nothing too serious so far. But yeah, it looks like. Oh, I mean, Woody Woods is looking for a play here, I think.
You're looking for a possible fight. They are going to find Braum trying to get rid of that tower. Braum's going to dash in.
Fancy Pants is
here. Can they find the fight? Mal's going to throw in the Nature's Grasp. That's going to land on 3 of them. A big moonfall from Diana does not do enough damage. Radicus is there. They find a triple kill. Woody Woods taking down Diana. Jinx getting a few as well. And JD losing a fight, winning a fight, head towards the Drake.
I mean, that's kind of a disaster there for KND. I mean, we were just talking about how strong their top side of the map is, but when you take a fight in bot lane with Gordon and no TP, I mean, you have your strongest member isn't there. So unfortunately, the 3 weakest members just tried to pick a fight and they got absolutely steamrolled. So I mean, unfortunately, all the gold lead that they previously had just gets completely negated. So kind of have to criticize KND for that one. You have to play around your top lane. I mean, they're the strongest point in the map. And Roomba Fiesta.
What a play! Jinx has some damage, not quite enough to get the full kill. But taking a look at JD's bot lane, once again, second game in a row, really dominating performance from JD, their ADC and support.
Yeah, I like. I mean, just in general, I like that play. I mean, they were trying to set up for Dragon, and I mean, I think Fancy Pants thought they were catching them out, but with the context of everything, you know, Dragon being up, I mean, you have to expect the entire team of JD to be there. Sans, you know, Clarkle's on the Zahen, but I mean, when you think about it in that situation where you know the rest of the team is there, you know, the two strongest members of JD are Radicus and Nurgle, and they're going to be at that team fight. So again, I have to criticize, you know, Fancy Pants, Trackpad, and maybe Pegasus looking for a fight there when, you know, their strongest member is on the complete opposite side of the map. So, with Flash.
And Jinx instantly throws in the Super Mega Death Rocket out to land in the slow, does some damage, but maybe overestimating herself a little bit.
Okay, I mean, Candy will take the free flash from Radicus. I don't play Jinx that often, but I don't think that was kill range, and especially with Roomba Fiesta, with that barrier, with, you know, some of their Mantra E's, I assumed that a lot of that damage would get negated, but maybe trying to go for the element of surprise kind of play. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye out for, you know, Radicus without a flash in this next team fight that might come up for both of these teams, but I think that might amount to nothing at the moment. But it looks like they're trying to make a play here onto mid lane tower to try and open up the map for JD, but that looks like they're just going to get that planing and back off. But right now, you know, Baron is spawning. I don't imagine either team trying to go for that one at this point in the game. I mean, Jinx probably, when they finish their IE, might have the damage to, you know, take a Baron, but it looks like they're just playing ARAM right now, trying to scale up, get some gold into each other's pockets. But so far, nothing too spicy at the moment. But I mean, some just heavy trading in the top lane. But I mean, if I'm on the side of JD, and I'm Sejuani, I'm like, Clarkles, you're on your own. I do not want to see. I do not want to touch. I don't want to see Renekton on my screen if I'm Sejuani, because this Renekton has the potential to carry this game, but only if they keep feeding into this Renekton, because a lot of these 1v1s situations for Gordon has just been, you know, even trading between Clarkles and Gordon, so nothing too severe. I mean, a slight CS advantage, but if I'm Woody Woods on this Sejuani, I'm trying to follow this Jinx and this Maokai around the map to, you know, play around my strongest point and get this game a potential victory on the side of JD.
Yeah, absolutely. And great job here by top lane Gordon, doing a good job keeping Zaheen off of this wave. Has the wave frozen on his side, waiting for him to dive in. And here you go. He's going to make his mark, lands the stun, and seems to be winning these trades. It's not going to be a full death, though, as we head back to the mid lane. Victor doing a little bit as well here to Roomba. And some interesting fights. No big trade just yet, though, as we have ourselves a Rift Herald. This might start something. Red team, they want to get a tower. Maokai is here.
TP behind here. They're looking for a play.
Grass Sedge dives in as well. Big play there. 3 red team members are going to be stunned. A huge ultimate by the Victor is going to land. The Arcane Storm is going to catch them all, but the red team, they're going to flash out, only losing the Diana. They get themselves a tower. Solid trade for both of them. Neither team too upset by that, but the blue team, they want to get themselves a tower. That's going to put this whole fight in their advantage. They get themselves mid tower, looking at tier 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, they pop the Herald and they make the play onto the mid lane tower, so good play there. But then I think JD with the Snap Judgment they set up pretty quickly to counter their the push that KNG wanted, and they get a kill and more. They're getting their own mid lane tower there. So I think that was a great response there from JD, committing Moose Tag's TP to the play, and you know, countering some of countering what KND wanted to do for that play onto mid lane tower. So great play there for JD. I think I mean, with the kill onto Fancy Pants, I mean, they should be able to get some more priority onto this Dragon, as Fancy Pants is, I mean, they're back up now, but Dragon is spawning in 13 seconds here. So it doesn't look like KND's in position. So I mean, it seems like they're gonna give this and maybe look for a play onto Baron potentially.
Yeah, Sivir's here. Diana on the Baron as well. Braum making a way upside. But first thing, I want to take care of the Zaheen. And Zaheen, looking for the fight, is going to pull Renekton in. But 3 red team members top side right now as the blue team, JD, take their 3rd Drake of the game. 1 away from Cloud Soul. Yeah, Soul Point here for JD. I mean, I think the play here for Candy is overload top side. I mean, I like the cross map, but I mean, trading top lane tower for Soul Point. I mean, maybe if they can make a play here onto Baron, they have a good idea. But like, they're sitting on Vision right now, so this is all telegraphed. Yeah, not sure that Clarkles is going to fall for this. He is playing pretty safe, and he has his blue team members coming here. JD coming to the rescue. Can they find a gank angle? Sejuani going around the side right now as Victor chasing down Sivir, and Sej unable to find the gank. Red team get out to safety, but they get themselves a dragon and no kills for KND. Now blue team have control of the Baron.
Oh, now they're going to start it. But so I think this is a good play here. I mean, Candy's a little bit scattered around the map. Roomba Fiesta is still bot lane and no TP, so this is going to be a 4v5, and it's going to be an advantageous position for JD either way.
Yeah, and Diana's looking for an opportunity to dive in. They're going to turn around. They find the slow glove. Glacial Princess goes thrown by Sejuani. Zaheen has the ultimate as well, and down goes Diana. The Braum is stunned. Moose Tag takes him out. And Renekton has to run back to tower. Jinx on the chase. Can she find the kill? The slow's going to be there. The Super Mega Death Rocket finishes the fight, finishes the kill. They head back towards Baron, and JD looking to end this series.
Yeah, the clean team fight win there for JD. I mean, they recognize that Rumba Fiesta's on the opposite side of the map with no TP on that barrier, so it's just an easy play. It's an easy start there for JD, and as I think we're going to get a replay, and as we go into the replay, I mean, it's such an easy turn here for the side of JD. They have so many tools like the Maokai ultimate, the Sejuani ultimate. It's too many tools to start a fight, and so they try to go onto Gordon, end up catching Fancy Pants instead, which is still, you still take those. And Fancy Pants just gets blown up before they could pop their ultimate, and Pegasus, nothing they can do. Trackpad wasn't even there for the start of the fight, so it's just a clean team fight win, and it's an easy chase down onto the Repton in the top side. So a clean team fight win for JD, and like you said, Cal, that might just sealed the game for JD and KND. Their avenues to find their way, their avenues back into this game are dwindling. I mean, yes, they had Gordon there, their strongest member for that team fight, but Renekton isn't going to be strong enough to try to like walk in and face tank a bunch of ultimates from Sejuani from Maokai and survive. So and not only that, you know, the person that would be able to help them survive in the Karma was on the opposite side of the map. So unfortunately for KND, they just had the wrong members on the wrong side of the map, and JD just pulled the trigger and get the Baron for themselves.
Yeah, and here they are quickly taking a tower here mid side. That wave is going to slowly dwindle. It might run out, but they are not done with the shove. And just some little poke here. No big fights happening just yet, unless KND want to pull the trigger somehow.
Yeah, I mean, the siege here for JD is going to be pretty brutal. I mean, they for the side of Candy, they do have oh my god, the damage.
And there it is.
So
oh my god, Pressure's going to go in as well. Moose Tag finds the kill, and that is the fight they're looking for. Malk throws in the Nature's Grass. It's not going to land, but still they get the kill. They get the tower, working on the inhibitor, and 16-5 JD. Just a few kills away from moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah, JD, I mean, they had a little bit of a hiccup here in the early game when they tried to go on to Gordon, but so far, I mean, it's just been JD kind of running this game and running around the map. I mean, they have so many tools to commit to fights, but not they have so many tools to start fights, but not actually commit to it. I mean, in that situation, they were able to poke out a little bit, and then as soon as everybody was low, they were able to, you know, commit. But it looks like Fancy Pants wants
to dive in, pops the Moonfall immediately, but she has the knockup. Down they go. Diana not able to stay alive long enough. Renekton with dominance, trying to join the fight as well. Sejuani looking low. The Renekton dives in. A huge play. The blue team under towers Zaheen. He might go down. They have him stunned. His passive is almost out. He's going to get resurrected, but the red team find the winning fight. They're going to shape Moose Tag out of there. Clarkles has to remain. Can the red team find the fight? Renekton is going to lead to chase down the rest of the blue team, and Clarkles is left alone. He might get the kills. The shutdown onto Malk. Clarkles stays alive.
Okay.
And finally, the red team get a few kills. Moose Tag won a consolation prize right here. Cannot find the Braum, cannot find the Victor. And KND finding 4 kills right there, losing 2 in the process. Not a bad fight for them.
Yeah, great fight from KND. I mean, they recognize that JD kind of popped a lot of their key abilities in that previous mid lane fight, so they know that JD had no cooldowns for the top lane fight there. So they're able to, you know, pull the trigger. I mean, the Fancy Pants goes in to, you know, draw some aggro and you know, blow some spells there. But I mean, at the end of the fight, it's Gordon and Trackpad Enjoyer kind of free hitting here in the back line and getting some free kills. I mean, yeah, Jinx gets the reset, but look how huge Gordon is with the shields. It's so easy for him to dive in, get the kill onto Jinx, get going, and then at the same time, Moose Tag was in mid lane, not at the start of the fight. So it was a great idea there for Candy to find the angle there for a team fight and maybe find their way back into the game. I mean, it's still I think it's still 4K gold difference here, but I mean, a great idea there. Uh-oh, Fancy Pants is caught out.
The fight happening. Sejuani throws out the Glacial Prison. That's going to be a good fight. Radicus from long range gets the kill. Down goes Diana. And JD have a clean path for this Cloud Soul.
Yeah, it's just easy Cloud Soul here for JD. I mean, yeah, Fancy Pants having to face check there, but JD has set up first, and they are able to, you know, find out where this Diana is. Unfortunately, Diana was alone, and the entire team of Candy were probably stuck clearing waves here. You know, Trackpad is on the top side and about to run into a Zahen. This might be a little bit dangerous here, but looks like JD will, you know, overload this bot lane and try and go for this bot lane tier 2 tower, and I think they will. It's too easy for them. I mean, their 2 wave clear champions are on the wrong side of the map. I don't know why Siver's laning into a Zahen right now. So I mean, hey Trackpad, go bot, please. I mean, they need help.
Yeah, definitely need to switch this up. Blue team just running over this lane right now. K&D without any damage. This move ball is going to keep Sejuani under tower. The Nature's Grasp is going to go in, though. Great play there by JD. Stopping the fight on the Sedge. They have some damage. Radicus is going to find the Diana. Can't get on the kill. The Jinx is now frenzied on the chase. The Sewer Mega Death Bucket is going to hit. That's going to be enough to get the kill on the Braum as well. And JD finding a clean fight bot lane, only losing 1. Looking to get this tower inhibitor.
I actually think that fight was kind of good for Candy, but their AD carry is laning into Zahen. What are we doing here? Like, why are we not fighting with their team right now? So, Trackpad, you had to join your team there. I think that was actually a one-team fight for Candy. It looked really good, and there was some avenues for you know, some Sivir ricochets to kind of. I think okay, no, we're fine here, but okay. I mean, yeah, I think that team fight was kind of looking good for Candy. I mean, Fancy Pants does go down. I mean, everybody does go down, but I think if Trackpad was there, they burned everything onto Gordon, onto Fancy Pants, onto Pegasus Knight. So I think there was an opportunity for Sivir to kind of just pop off here. So, you know, the initial fight, they catch out Woody under tower, which is good. I mean, they CC him almost to death. But, you know, Gordon with this flash Q, it does get a huge amount of healing, but unfortunately goes down to the Jinx. But, you know, they're lacking so much damage for here, unfortunately, because Sivir's not there. So so Candy, they look for a team fight, looked good, but but JD had the advantage in damage. They had both of their damage dealers in Moose Tag and Radicus there. So it's just an easy team fight win for JD, and looks like they're gonna get Baron off the end of that.
Yeah, they're heading towards Baron. Now Karma, Braum, and Sivir can make their way over here if they want to stop. It looks like they're going to call Diana over to help out as well. But Victor is going to stop the Sivir from joining. Sejuani gets the smite, and JD picking up another big objective at the 31-minute mark, trying to close out this game 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, Diana farming their bot side camps for their blue side camps for some reason, and not really being there for the Baron fight. So, a Trackpad.
Trackpad might be in trouble. Woody wants to go in. That's going to be the fight. Down goes the Sivir. They have Fancy Pants in the side as well. The knockup lands. Down goes Diana. Braum is still rooted. And Sedge wives in, has some more stun. That's going to be a 3rd member. JD with a 3-man wipe. 2 members of K&D left alive. They have Baron. They have waves. They might have a game 2 victory.
Yeah,
and
it looks
what
like
a fight, what a game.
Yeah, it looks like the perfect season for JD will continue here. Gordon is going to try and stop it, but they go into their Guardian Angel. But it looks like, yeah, JD will have game number 2. Candy tried their best, but it's just JD absolutely running the map and winning this game number 2.
What a dominating performance once again out of KD. Their bot lane having a second clutch game. Unbelievable performance on the Jinx bot lane. You can see the damage right there. Victor obviously having a phenomenal game mid lane as well. Moose Tag didn't have the same CS as last game, but taking a look at the KDA, taking a look at the damage was just as impactful.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few plays in the early game trying to get some kills onto Gordon on that Renekton that kind of, like, you know, went awry. But other than that, JD clean team fights all around the game. I mean, they had perfect, like, a lot of very good map movements, recognizing, you know, where Candy members were and pulling the trigger on some team fights that were good. I mean, Candy had some good angles at the end of the game, trying to find their way back into the game, but unfortunately, some key members just weren't there for some of those fights. So, at the end of the day, it's just JD clean series win here, and absolutely running the map and you know, continuing their perfect season. You know, something that we haven't seen in Risen history. So a lot of teams have tried, but unfortunately none have succeeded. So we'll have to see what next week has in store for us. Because right now, Jimmy's Disciples is on a tear. I mean, they're gonna have like if, the title is theirs to lose. Essentially, everybody has to try and play up to their standards. So I'm excited to see how other teams want to try and tackle JD. But right now, JD is the golden standard.
Yeah, they are definitely the team to beat. And I do believe we are going to be joined by Ritis, the ADC from Jimmy Disciples right now. So hopefully going to get joined by them, guys. Congratulations to the folks that guessed correctly in the chat that JD was going to win this game, dominating quarterfinal victory. We will see if they can continue that in the semifinals.
Hey everybody, Dinugleso here to discuss Singed Crab Shack, aka SCS, the #1 seed coming out of Group Manaphy. SCS ended the regular season 4-1, only dropping one series to Team Greeley in a very, very close matchup, in which case they also had a sub. SCS secured first seed in Manaphy on tiebreakers in Week 5 after beating the previously undefeated HK in a very, very close 2-1 series as well. SCS was incredibly dominant versus the rest of the group, winning every other series 2-0. Now for the team preview. SCS is led by the captain and top laner, Vino, who has been the best top laner in Group Manaphy. Vino primarily plays tanks and bruisers in the top lane, and has had particularly strong performances on set. Vino also plays Singed. Anyways, SCS's jungler is Brinticus, who has consistently improved throughout the year and plays AD fighters in the jungle. Billy Willard, a former Risen Rampage winner, plays mid for SCS and plays standard control mages with a focus on Victor and Ahri. Billy Willard is always stable and occasionally brilliant, which is a fantastic quality to have in Doran's. SCS's bot lane is Brigade and Poison 57. While they don't get as much attention as Vino, they are a solid bot lane, and Poison 57 in particular has looked great. Brigade can also have some massive games if given the resources. There is no single weak point on this SCS team. After the Week 1 loss to Greeley, SCS has looked like one of the best teams in the league, and they've solidified that, especially after defeating HK in Week 5. They have the best top laner and has ramped into some of the best macro as the season has gone on. SCS sets up objectives with purpose and executes them well. ADCs beware. Vino will find a way to drop 10 million
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is so good to have you here. We are joined in chat by Radicus, the JD dominating ADC. Radicus, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good. It feels good to win some playoff games.
Well, you guys won decisively. The thing I ask every player that comes in here, you played a couple champions. Your Jinx was absolutely dominating. Your most comfortable ADC, man. Give it to us, Met brother.
You already know it's the rat himself. But it was banned. It's been banned. I got to play it one time this season, and it makes me sad because I love that champion, but I don't get to play it ever.
Well, I don't blame them. If they know that you're better at that than you are at the Jinx, I can see why it is banned, man.
I mean, I think a big thing is like most of our players, except for our mid laner and support, come from a Dota background. So, you have to have like wide champion pools in Dota just because of how like bans and counter picks work. I think it's a little bit more brutal in counter picks in Dota. So like I really drilled into everybody to have wide champion pools. We have about 9 to 10 champions that we can pull out and we're comfortable on. Yeah. So like we really have depth in terms of how we can draft.
Well, I won't dive into like exactly what those champions are, but talk to us about your draft strategy this series, because I loved your game 1 draft where you started with the Pantheon Ashe. I mean, I feel like that's just a very powerful a cross map plays around everything. So talk to us about your draft strategies throughout the series, because I think you guys all had a very clear plan going into this series.
I do a majority of the draft prep and drafting for the team. I don't want to give away too many secrets,
For sure.
They're my secrets. I'm not going to share them. But I think having a clear plan, whether it's good, bad, whatever, going into any draft is like key. We really identify, okay, what do we want to do and what does the enemy team want to do? Like, how do they see League versus how we see it? And every draft, both bans and draft compositions goes into can we accomplish what we want versus denying what they want. Ashe Pantheon pretty much sets us up for, okay, we can engage from long distances. Their mid laner like to play a lot of long range mages like Hui, Mel, the Aurelion Soul. We just took those out. We're like, okay, what do you got now? You know, what else? What are the long range major you're gonna pick?
Mhm.
And we really focused on particularly long range engages in this draft or in this series particularly, just
Mhm.
because of the champions that they like to play.
Absolutely. And hey, you guys, so Jimmy's Disciples seems to be the dominating team right now in the Doran's League. Most teams, I believe, are scared to face you guys, but I'm going to ask you guys if you have any teams you're keeping your eye on that you're worried about, you think you might give you a run for your money. You guys got any teams you want, or you just confident all the way through?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, right? I think we're confident in our abilities, but teams that we look at and we go, "Dang, those guys are like really good." SCV, right? We played them in the
Mhm.
group.
Mhm.
Help Katie obviously has had a great season. Drifter's done a fantastic job on that team.
Mhm.
Um, and an underrated one, which I think that people don't give them the credit that they really deserve, just because I think that they've had some weird performances lately, is IKEA. I think IKEA was probably
Ooh.
the second best team we played all season, both in scrims and like actually just giving us the most trouble on the Rift. Uh, I think Fajita and Eto are like insane players, and like I don't know how their series is going. Like I could say that and they're like eliminated or something, but like genuinely, I think that they're a really good team. But SCV for sure. I think that that team that when we played them, we did like 4 days worth of prep for. We were like
Wow.
practicing with them in mind. Yeah, we're like, holy crap, this is about to be our toughest game, and it was. Yeah, GCB was an insane mid laner. Props to that guy.
Well, congratulations on your win today. I mean, as we're wrapping up here, do you have any like shout outs that do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Um, yeah, I don't I want to shout out our mid and top. Like I think that those two in particular are like the glue for our team. I think Moostag and Clarkles play an insanely vital role, and we could not be as successful as are and will be without those guys like kind of behind the wheel.
I can absolutely see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, massive, massive shout out to Radicus and the entirety of the Jimmy Disciples team. Continue their Dorian's League domination. Excited to see what they can do in the semifinals. Radicus, congratulations on the win, man. I'm so excited to watch the future games, brother.
Thank you, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed, and good luck to everybody else.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of this wonderful Dorian's League quarterfinals game. I was joined, as always, by the fantastic Arrow. What a game, Arrow. Great day today, brother.
Dude, great stream today, or great cast today here, Cal. I mean, I'm always excited to cast with you. I mean, I know we missed last week, but we made it up with a great series today, and I'm excited to get some more semifinal action next week. I mean, I will have to see which teams are getting streamed next week. I know there's a lot of good games going on in the rest of the league, so I'm excited to see what the rest of this playoffs has in store for us.
Absolutely. And you folks watching at home, thank you so much for the support here at Risen Esports. Continue to watch every single Monday and throughout the week. Multiple leagues, multiple games. You can catch us live all the time, you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. As always, don't sweat the small stuff, folks. And it's all small stuff.